It goes one by one. One by one. You just reach one person. And if you reach one person before the end of the day, you could lose your momentum. We want to gain momentum. Why? Because we want to change our culture. You say, crime is crazy right now. People shooting each other. People just without hope. But Jesus delivered us because somebody preached the gospel to us. That's the way it happens. You say, well, Pastor, you're on TV. People don't watch that. Here's the message that we all carry. He's not here. Death doesn't hold him back. He's been raised from the dead. He goes before you. He stands ahead of you. A renewed reverence. I believe that what we're going to experience in the next years to come is going to be a renewed reverence. And the people of that day could breathe again because the presence of the risen King was in their midst. And they understood for the first time, maybe since the Garden of Eden, what it was to walk in pure reverence and meaning of life. But how many of you know that the stuff up? But we have to hold on to the fact there's a new future here. The 2023, what we're going to witness is message. He's not here. He's not held back by death, and neither are you because you've been raised with him. You stand victorious over death today and destruction, speaking from a position of love. That love is moving towards you from the future. He's with you, but he's already been raised. And so he's speaking to you from the future, but you got to get up and you got to move quickly. And Jesus says, I'm ahead of you, and you will see me there. Listen to me. I'm ahead of you. You got to look for him. You got to come like the women who are hungry to see Jesus. And when you do, the earth will shake, and you'll behold him. I want you to know that Jesus loves every one of you today. I know you feel stuck. I know many of you sometimes feel like you've been backed into a corner and there's no way out. It's a lie. In dark moments, if you'll begin to worship Jesus out of the purity of your heart, he can change your heart. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, listen, the greatest gift is to give your heart and your life over to Christ. All you have to do is call upon the name of the Lord, and the Bible says you will be saved. Take a moment right now and ask your life. In other words, make him the boss. Allow him to govern your life and guide you. And if you do that, you'll find out how wonderfully loved. Good decision. Church is very important, so I want to invite you to Thibodeau Family Church. We have church on Sunday mornings and Wednesday evenings. We'd love for you to come. I want you to know this. As long as you keep Jesus as Lord of your life, you'll always win in life. God bless.
GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the premium off-roading. Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payment. Light-duty elevation crew cab models.
For years, the market needs, and we don't stop there. We serve breakfast, lunch, and provide home-cooked family meals. All of our specialty meats are made from scratch by our butcher. Bring us your basket you need. You've made the right choice. We cater the basket to whatever you want. See why so many count on Cajun Meat Market on Mystic Boulevard in Houma for all of your food service meats.
For chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have medications or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best
This is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company
Insurance. It's our job.
Alford and Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
You don't have to face these challenges alone. I'm Laura Stanley, Peer Support Specialist with South Central Louisiana Human Services. Lived experiences with mental health and substance abuse challenges. We provide mental health, substance abuse, developmental disability, and primary care services right here in our community.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV.
Welcome to Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and joining us on this episode is Dr. Hugo Azima, a pulmonologist at Terrebonne General Pulmonology Care. The governor Hugo into the Louisiana Respiratory Care Advisory Committee. Today we will discuss the honorable appointment and what it means for our community. Welcome to the show. Well, congratulations on your appointment.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that, but first, tell us about your role at Terrebonne General.
Of course, I'm a physician here at Terrebonne General. I've been here for about a year and a half, going on 2 years. It's been a tremendous and rewarding experience so far.
Great. Well, now let's talk about the Louisiana Respiratory Care Advisory Committee. Can you tell us what it is?
Yes, it's exactly in the name. It's the Respiratory Care Advisory. And the Louisiana government, essentially, and the Louisiana Board of Medical Examinees, with taking care of and advising with regards to respiratory. Specifically, we help with organizing and keeping a lot of continuity and and helping with their education and keeping up with their requirements.
Okay. So I know you kind of explained that, but can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So it helps the residents because you get, for the residents especially, you get some a semblance of consistency across the board. Type of care from your pulmonologist, from your respiratory techs, and make sure that they're getting high quality care and that the people that are becoming these techs are high quality individuals and highly trained.
All right, and share with us how and why you wanted to be a part of this committee.
And I think this position offers me that opportunity. And respiratory, naturally, I'm a pulmonologist. I work with lungs and is a natural my training to assist and contribute to the committee.
And how long will you serve on the committee?
It's a yearly the rotations go. You'd have to, I may be re-sworn in, and I'm hoping that's the case. And I hope I do a good job and keep doing this.
Duties going to consist of?
My duties are primarily to be in these meetings. We usually have them about quarterly, and they are. And we have that link on the Louisiana State on the Louisiana State website. so the public can watch those meetings. But and use my experience and knowledge to help guide the decisions that are made with regards to respiratory care in the state.
So what are you most excited about serving on the committee?
That I haven't been a part of prior to this appointment. So I'm looking forward to experience. I'm looking forward to learning that every experience is importantly is to contribute to the great state of Louisiana and to help to, push the state forward and make sure respiratory care continues.
A pulmonologist and working in critical care, you get to see firsthand the needs of the patients and the techs that are working there.
Absolutely.
So I think to you.
Absolutely.
And how will sitting on this committee help you in your practice?
On a personal level, I think it will just help me have a better appreciation for to be more mindful and cognizant about how difficult that job is. It's a challenging job in and of itself. As to the ones that I've worked with so far, I'm tremendously thankful to them already. And I'm hoping, and I think this will help me on a personal, and on that account, be able to be a good advocate and a good ambassador for our respiratory techs here at Terrebonne General. And
Tell us, what do respiratory techs do?
yes, well, they do quite a bit. They mostly work with our patients in the hospital, and there are positions that you can work in the clinics, mostly in the pulmonary clinic. They help to give medications through nebulizers or inhalers, and they help manage the vents with the physicians that do put the vents in critical care unit. Imagine some of our sickest patients, especially those, like I mentioned, are on a vent and require high levels of oxygen support. Respiratory techs are really everywhere, really. They function as a very specialized type of nurse, essentially, if you will. Recap.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you're going to be having a role overseeing all of this for the whole state of Louisiana.
Yes, it's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Visit tghealthsystem.com. Thank you for joining us on To Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and I'll see you right back here next week.
Event is happening right now at Terrebonne Lincoln in Houma. Get 0.9% APR on a new 2023 Lincoln Nautilus, or get 2.9% financing on a new
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a CDL, we will train you. You must be able to pass a medical. Salary range is $19,253 to $29,859. Benefits include free. Contact the TPSB Transportation Office at 985-876-7400.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop with medications or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology. More at cardio.com.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak. Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty elevation crew cab models.
Because of the line of work I'm in, there's a much higher risk to develop cancer. You're looking for a place that is. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center is a place that you would want to come. I had to be positive to show everybody else that it was okay to be positive. They supported my mission to live a long, healthy, cancer-free life.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing and
get 0.9% APR on a new 2023 Lincoln Nautilus, or get 2.9% financing on a new 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Terrebonne.
Welcome to Do Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and joining us on this episode is Lana Stevens, Community Procurement Agency. In observation of National Donate Life Month, we will discuss the importance and use of organ donation and donation. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, Lana, well, let's get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself and your role with LOPA.
Sure. So I've been part of the LOPA family for 20 plus years. As you mentioned, a community educator and volunteer specialist. I educate the community of the importance of donation. I manage the volunteers in the New Orleans region and our volunteer programming across the state.
All right, big job, big job. Exactly what does LOPA stand for and what are their goals?
So LOPA stands for the Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. We are the bridge between donor families and recipients, and we work to get those organs recovered from organ donor families to get them to the transplant centers where they need to go.
Okay. And how long has Terrebonne General been working with LOPA, and why is our relationship so important?
So LOPA's been around since 1988, and Terrebonne General a very long time, and the relationship is so important because we have so many members of the Terrebonne community that are affected by either donation or transplant.
The Honor Walk.
The Honor Walk is something that hospitals have gotten to become more involved with over the years. It's very hospital driven. It's an opportunity for organ donors to our facility at our donor care center. It's a way for them to honor that person for giving the gift of life and to be able to support the family as well. It's really a beautiful,
very solemn and,
it means a lot to the family.
It does. It meant a lot to the family. So tell us, what types of organs can one give?
So as far as organ donation goes, we can actually recover and transplant heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, and small intestines.
Okay. And how many lives can be saved with these donations?
So with all those that I named, because we have some that can go to a single lung transplant, a single transplant, or some that maybe that is up to 8 lives that can be potentially saved from one healthy organ donor. It doesn't happen like that all the time, but the potential for 8 lives to be saved is definitely there.
And donation.
I would say the myths that I hear the most common in the community are people having fear of having that marked on their driver's license, that they won't have medical care. And as you know, all efforts are made to save someone's life before we even come into that picture. So as you know, as a hospital staff member, that is first and foremost the job of the hospital is to save that patient's life, and then we get that phone call. So I want to make that very clear to people that all efforts are made and all efforts are made to save the life, and then after that, we'll try to recover organs for transplant to help other people. So that's, I'd say, the biggest one. One of the things we have people questioning is whether or not it's against their religion. We do see that it's all major religions support donation, and so it's important to point that out. They either support it or leave it up to the individual within that religion as well. And also, it's going to be no cost to the donor family. The donor family will not receive a bill having is exactly that, an altruistic gift of donation. So there's no money exchange for donation and transplant as well.
Okay, well, thanks for clearing some of those up.
Terrebonne General has been a wonderful partner over the years, and they do a lot both in the community and within the hospital. For example, throughout April, which is National Donate Life Month, which is located right outside the ICU, and this is a wall of photographs of people who have given the gift of life through donation, and it gives families an opportunity to share their loved one. There are flag-raising ceremonies that we host here as well. We'll have one in April, but a lot of times during the actual donation process.
And why is that flag donation so special to the family members?
So it gives them an opportunity to kind of just stop. It's such a traumatic and very sudden death. And really think about and appreciate what the gift of donation has done for both, yes, the recipients moving forward, but for their family as a donor family. It means a lot to them.
And so, what are your 3 main takeaways that you'd like everybody to know about organ donation?
I can think of lots of takeaways, but the biggest thing is talk to your. This is something that you believe in. We say register. Don't rule yourself out for any medical reasons. If it's something you believe in, register and leave it up to the medical professionals. Go to Terrebonne General's website for more information. LOPA.org also has lots of facts, information, research, and an opportunity to register to become. I mean, honestly, that's my biggest takeaway. I don't know that I would even have 3, because that is the one main thing that we really try to drive home, is talk to your family about your decision and honor them.
Okay, well, thank you so much for everything that you're doing and for all your time today.
Thank you.
For more information about organ and tissue donation, visit tghealthsystem.com or call 873-4141. Thanks for joining us on To Your Health. I'm your host, Rhonda Alfred, and we'll see you right back here next week.
To conquer the high road or the off-road. Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% APR for 5 years on 2023 Sierra heavy-duty SLT model. GMC.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us to evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. It's closer than you think. Welcome to REV.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the federally authorized navigable depth, we are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV. And I just wanted to thank my team, because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
For years, the Cajun Meat Market has been the premier place to handle all of your meat market needs, and we don't stop there. All of our specialty meats are made from scratch by our butcher. Bring us your game meat and we'll do the rest. If it's a gift basket you need, you've made the right choice. We Market on Mystic Boulevard in Houma for all of your food service meats. Cajun Meat Market, where you can't beat Cajun meat.
The new 2024X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors or the great indoors. Welcome to or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on Turbo High.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. As you can tell, we are right here at one of your neighborhood Rouses. We are right here in the Our favorite dietitian here joining me in Rouses.
Hello, how are you, Keith?
I am very, very good. Thank you. Very excited.
Yeah.
It's almost like we can kind of turn around and grab an apple.
I know, we really can. I could just like stick my hand right here and grab an apple.
And an apple is actually a good way to think about Earth Month. And so April, to tell us about some Earth Month meal solutions.
Absolutely. And I love the background. It really brings that Earth Month into play because you have all those vibrant colors that I have for you is to use reusable bags.
Okay.
We have some great bags at Rouse's with some really nice kind of local plays on different it's a really great way to save on paper, save on plastic. If you do use the paper or plastic, find ways to, a lot of people will use, a Rouse's bag for different things. So definitely find some ways, but using a reusable bag is a great way to start. And really, if you unload your groceries, keep it in the back of your car. That's a great way to, you don't have to think about it the next time you go to the store.
Right.
It'll be right there in your back pocket.
Right.
So
you talk about it all the time. You reference that every time we talk on the show that these great deals are in the sale paper.
Absolutely. So on every Wednesday, we call it Double Ad Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Oh,
so you have an overlap. Yeah. So you get the double the sales on that Wednesday. Of course, you can shop that. Great way to make a list. So you can always take out the sale paper, make a list of what you want to get. That can also give you some great ideas for meals that you can make for different prices on different produce items, right? So that's going to give you some clues as to what's in season when you look at that sale paper.
Okay.
And then another store your fresh items properly.
Okay.
So when you go and you get those fresh items, make sure that you're either refrigerating them or storing them on the countertop. However it's supposed to be stored, make sure that you're storing them properly so that you don't have to waste.
Right.
Okay, so we're all about thinking about Earth Month. We're thinking about ways. How can we reduce waste? Storing properly.
That's an option.
Yes. And then also mix in some canned and frozen items.
Sure.
So this is a great way to, you got your fresh items, but if you have, maybe you have too many, you don't want to overdo and you want to mix in your canned and your frozen. So some great options in the frozen section that you can use anytime.
Right.
And then also your canned, like canned fruit in 100% juice. That's going to last. Just drain the can, add that to your yogurt, add that to your oatmeal, and you have a great solution.
Accents to your fresh item.
And then incorporate some sustainable items. So let's talk about what does sustainable mean, because we kind of hear that word thrown around a little bit. So something that's raised or caught is something, for an example, would be seafood. You hear about sustainably caught seafood in ways that consider the long-term vitality of the harvested species. That's the definition that I found on that. And so what you're thinking about is we do have some different frozen fish options and also some canned tuna options as well. So you can look for some different items like that as well.
Okay.
And using those leftovers, preventing the food waste. And we've talked about it before, taking, maybe you don't want to eat it, anymore for that week and you're done. Putting it in the freezer, extending that shelf life on it. And then also another thing too is this spring, you could find some great options at Rouse's. Seeds, an herb garden, maybe even a fruit tree, something like that, doing some planting and making those options available. And then what if you do an herb garden, Keith, and then you have fresh herbs to just go right to every time you cook? I mean, one of the easiest things is to plant green onions, and chop them off.
Yeah.
So I mean, herb gardens are great, to be able to do that.
So interestingly enough, we do all of these. Tip is that for my wife's birthday coming up here in April, she wants to be able to plant her herb garden. We have a fig tree.
Oh,
we have
wow.
all of those in the backyard.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that we've been able to get many figs that we can eat or many lemons or limes, but I promise you the herbs that come out of that garden, we will use.
Be able to get
many lemons or limes, but I promise you the herbs that come out of that garden, we will use.
Be able to get some things off of it. But the great thing about Rouse's is you could go to Rouse's and get all of your needs until that plant matures. But yeah, you could get all of your needs and seasonally, and also when it's not in season, it comes from other places too.
Right.
That, or it is in season.
Those accents when we need to get them canned or get them as fresh. Here at Rouse's, we appreciate it, where you spend a great deal of time and I spend a great deal of time as well. And we want you to do that as well. And that will do it for this particular segment of Eat Right with More Baggy Time.
Weather is gotta come to AJ Doman Chevrolet. We are South Louisiana's newest business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. Can't find the car you're looking for? Let us order it for you.
And remember, no credit, bad credit, we can help.
AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge.
Give us a call today or visit us online at ajdomanchevy.com. AJ Doman Chevrolet, the dealership that works for you. Highway 182 in Berwick.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you're subways in the area. So stop by Big Wheels Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Premium off-roading. Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
West Park Self-Storage is a state-of-the-art storage facility with clean, convenient, and secure climate-controlled storage. Our professional storage counselors are here to assist you with all your storage needs. Access your unit 7 days a week. We also have parking for RVs, boats, and cars.
South Louisiana Quiz Bowl, the grand battle challenge of South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. South Louisiana Quiz Bowl is brought to you by MC Bank, sharing that hometown.
Hello and welcome once again to South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. Welcome to our viewers on YouTube worldwide. You never know those out there. All right, we are in the quarterfinals of the varsity Terrebonne High School and HL Bourgeois High School. Good luck to both teams. Let's get into rapid fire, and everybody has a father. I want you to identify some famous fathers. Good luck. Spanish for father. Dustin.
Padre.
Right. In the Star Wars movies, he's Luke Skywalker. Lucas.
Darth Vader.
That's right. He's often drawn as an old man with an hourglass and a scythe. Dustin.
Father Time.
That's right. The father of medicine. He has a famous oath named for him. Lucas.
Hippocrates.
That's correct. Kimberly Williams gets married in this 1991 Steve Martin movie. Lucas.
Jane Doe.
No, father of the bride. In Carlo Collodi's children. Dustin.
Geppetto.
That's right. In the Old Testament, Jethro to Moses or Saul to David.
Lucas.
King.
No, father-in-law. He's sometimes called the father of lies. Lucas.
Satan.
That's right. This 17th century English chemist has been called the father of chemistry. Dustin.
Mendeleev?
No, Boyle, Robert Boyle. Benjamin Franklin, James Madison, and Thomas Nicole. Lucas.
Our Father.
No, Holy Father. And that is the end of the round. Start with South Terrible.
Hello, my name is Landon. I'm a sophomore. I've been at Quiz Bowl for 5 years. Other than Quiz Bowl, I'm in band, talented music, talented art.
Lucas Abear. This is my 7th year in Quiz Bowl. I'm a senior, and my favorite food is boudin.
My name is Aiden Pellegrin. I'm a junior, and other than Quiz Bowl, I'm sushi.
My name is also Aiden. I'm a sophomore, and other than Quiz Bowl, I'm in band. And my favorite food is French bread, but only from down the bay.
Lucas is the team captain. Tell us about South Terrebonne.
Opened in 1961 in Berg, Louisiana along Bayou Terrebonne, South Terrebonne High School has been home to quality education, outstanding support from our community for over 60 years. We are excited to return to the swamp this school year because Dr. Madge Gotro, our faculty and staff for their support, and a special thank you to the South Terrebonne alumni class of 1982 for generously donating new equipment and supplies for our team. The South Terrebonne community is coming together to rebuild our home and show everyone that we are still Gator strong.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you to the faculty sponsor, Mr. Philip Walter. Let's welcome back South Terrebonne. You know what they call French bread in France, right? Bread.
Oh.
H.L. Bourgeois, you're up.
My name is Timothy Crochet. I'm a sophomore, and outside of Quiz Bowl, I'm in the National Honor Society.
My name is Dustin Petrie.
Out of Quiz Bowl, I'm in National Honor Society.
My name is Tristan. I'm a freshman. I've been doing 3 years of Quiz Bowl, and outside of Quiz Bowl, I do powerlifting.
Let's hear more about it.
H.L. Bourgeois High School is celebrating 50 years of excellence, and whether it be in academics, athletics, service, or the arts, it's a matter of pride for the Braves. An engaging faculty and dedicated, we dedicate this season to the many HLB Quiz Bowl players and sponsors who came before us, and we thank our teachers for allowing us to compete today.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you. Let's welcome back H.L. Bourgeois High School. All right, toss-up bonus time. Let's start with a 2-point toss-up. Reduced to poverty after victories by Augustus Caesar, this poet later gained a patron who gave him an estate in Tivoli. He was a contemporary of Virgil, who wrote many odes, satires, and epistles, as well as the book Ars Poetica, named the poet who gave us the phrase Carpe Diem. Lucas.
Agrippa.
That's incorrect. Hey, John. Dustin.
Dante?
No, it was Horace. 2-point toss-up. This scientist had 1969, which allowed him to predict the existence of gallium, scandium, and germanium. Named this Russian, credited with the development of the Lucas?
Mendeleev.
That's correct. The category is why. The word why. Between 1949 and 1962, 2.5 million East Germans emigrated to West Germany, but between 1962 and 1989, only about 5,000 did so. Why the dramatic decrease?
Berlin Wall.
22% of the world's plant species are threatened. Why?
Poaching.
Deforestation, probably.
Deforestation?
I'll accept that. Human activity, habitat destruction. South Terrebonne, why was Senator Strom Thurmond's election in 1954's midterm victory notable? He was the last U.S.
By Senate.
Repeat that?
By state Senate.
That's incorrect. Hey, Joe?
By appointment?
No, he was elected by write-in votes. 2 points for each team. And here's a 2-point toss-up. The son of a minister growing up, his writings about the South were often censored but became bestsellers. Named this author of Journeyman, Trouble in July, Georgia Boy, God's Little Acre, and Tobacco Road. Aiden.
Smith.
That's incorrect. Hey, Joe? Timothy.
Frederick Douglass.
No, it was Erskine Caldwell. 2-point toss-up. This term begins with the letter E and can apply to solutes or substances. The solutes. What term is defined as a liquid ionic conductor? Lucas.
Electrolyte.
That's correct. Bonus for South Terrebonne. We're dealing in Native American tribes here, meaning the people, what Aboriginal people of Canada and the Arctic are not to be confused with the Eskimo. Canadian territories separated from the Northwest Territories in 1999. Answer?
Nunavut. Nunavut.
That's correct. What ethnic group with a 2-syllable name related to the Inuit?
Aleutian.
That's correct. You got all three for 6 points. Here's a 2-point toss-up. The third son of King John I of Portugal, this leader oversaw the colonization of the Madeira Islands and the Azores. Though a few of his expeditions were failures, he had a great impact on the colonial empire. Aiden.
Pedro.
That's incorrect. Hey, Timothy.
Alfonso.
No, it was Prince Henry the Navigator. 2-point toss-up. These 4 colors are referred to as process colors. Combinations of them often are used in color printing. They're often Nicole.
Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black.
That's correct. Bonus question goes to H.L. Bourgeois. Let's do some 4-letter words here. What frame of a boat may be the planing type and
Hull?
That's right. In December 2005, socialist Evo Morales, Indian, elected president of Bolivia. He had previously headed a coalition of growers of which plant that the U.S. drug war aims to eradicate?
It's 4 letters. Coca?
That's right. What word beginning with the letter S means a recorded commercial advertisement? Answer?
Sale?
That's incorrect. South Terrebonne? Four points for H.L. Bourgeois, and here is a 2-point toss-up. While this word can refer to human commotion, it usually refers to a violent wind. Name this word. It does not really come, Lucas?
Tempest.
Tempest is correct. It does not come in teapots. Let's finish the question. Now the bonus is on Moses. In English, it's a 4-word imperative sentence. After they crossed the Red Sea, the first problem the Israelites encountered was their hunger. With what 2 foods did the Lord provide them?
Bread and fish.
That's incorrect. H.O.?
Bread and something.
Your answer?
Bread and wine?
No, manna and quail. South Terrebonne, which 2 men held up Moses' hands during the battle against the Amalek?
David and Jeremiah.
That's incorrect.
Abraham.
2 points for South Terrebonne. And that is the end of the round. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more South Louisiana Quiz Bowl.
Savings are in bloom at Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. Now through April 30th, get up to $70 off a new set of Toyo tires. Plus, get free installation, a $110 value when you use your Shawbill's credit. ShawbillsTire.com for complete details. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
Insurance companies often deny, delay, don't pay enough. Hurricane Ida has decimated Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. By now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by their insurance companies. Don't give up. At Waits and Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal experience and ability to make them pay. Get to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. So once again, don't give. Call today for a free consultation. We are local and we are here to stay. Let our years of experience work for you. Pick up the phone. 70 for a free consultation.
Time doesn't stop and the world keeps spinning. Community, Culture Solution, a network built for every possibility. Moving faster than ever before. Streaming us forward into the future than you think. Welcome to Rev.
South Terrebonne leads H.L. Bourgeois, and let's continue on with some 2-point talk. Made out of silver in Tibet, iron in Africa, and bronze in other regions. They sometimes play, Dustin.
Steel drum?
Incorrect. They sometimes play a role in Eastern religions. Modern ones usually are at least 39 inches in diameter and are freely suspended. What is it, Aiden?
Gong.
It's a gong. Which church is believed to have been started by St. Mark? It coexisted peacefully with Islam from the 7th through 11th centuries, but has been overshadowed by most 5% of its nation's population. Named as Christian religion, whose name comes from the Greek word for Egypt. Lucas.
Coptic.
That's correct. What 11-letter noun is a reaction involving constricting lung muscles and dilating capillaries? It can occur when people are given a second dose of a drug.
Overdose?
Incorrect. And it can be fatal. Lucas.
Anaphylactic shock.
That's right. The first chapter of this book is and the means by which they are acquired. Lucas.
The Prince.
That's right. Give the first and last name of the boy whose parents are supposedly Partridge and Jenny Jones. He's married alongside Mastiff Bilfil. This 1749 title character was created by Henry Fielding. It is Tom Jones. And that is the end of the round. South Terrebonne still in the lead for HL. You've got first choice categories. You can have novels, secession, name the trio, or nation.
Nation.
All right. I want you to tell me which nation is. Good luck. Sweden and Russia. Going for your team.
Oh, Finland.
Finland.
Right. France and Poland.
Germany.
Germany.
Correct. Egypt and Algeria.
Libya.
Libya.
Right. Egypt and Ethiopia.
Sudan.
Sudan.
That's right. That's right. Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Iraq.
Correct. Afghanistan and India.
Pakistan.
Correct. Venezuela and Ecuador.
Colombia.
That's right. Peru and Paraguay.
Bolivia. Siam.
Huh?
Siam.
No.
Thailand.
More specific.
Thailand.
Good job. Or name the trio.
Trio.
The trio. Okay. The three men in a tub.
The Shepherd.
Incorrect. The three ships of Christopher Columbus.
I defer to Landon.
Sorry. The Mina, the Pinta, the Santa Marina.
That's right. The three branches of the U.S. government. Types.
igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic.
That's right. The three virtues in 1 Corinthians 13.
Doric, Ionic, Finian.
Incorrect. The Three Musketeers.
Pass.
The three. HL, give me the three ships of Christopher Columbus. Incorrect. I'm rude, both of you. You had said Marina. It is Santa Maria, not Marina. So only three correct for 6 points. Answer?
Peace, love, generosity?
No, faith, hope, and charity. The three musketeers. Answer?
Pass.
They are Porthos, Athos, and Aramis.
Now more than ever, you're in the diagnosis and treatment of heart disease, vascular disease in the legs, vein problems, and heart valve disease. CIS cardiologists offer the most advanced.
I think what motivates me the most is that would make a huge impact on what I do later in life. Now will only promote me later in the future.
Walls or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly, valve or take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology.
His 2-point toss-ups. Good luck. He said, we're going to have the best educated American people in the world, and if we do not succeed, we run the risk of 1976 in the Senate in 1980. He resigned his seat in 1988 in order to become the vice president. Name this politician who once also made a notable spelling gaffe. Timothy.
George.
Incorrect. Is that terrible? Aiden.
Bush.
No, it was Dan Quayle. The fish lemon on top. One of his pictures has two versions, one with the clarinetist in the middle and the other with the guitarist in the middle. Name this 20th century cubist, Aiden.
Picasso.
That's right. It names the period from 1815 to 1860. Aiden.
Victorian.
Incorrect. 1861, and connotes the cotton economy, slavery, the abolitionist movement, and the polarization of America. What Latin? Tristan.
Antebellum.
That's right. Along with logic and grammar. By invention, arrangement, style, memory, and delivery. Demosthenes, the ancient Greek who authored the Philippics, was one of the most talented practitioners of what art?
Realism.
No, rhetoric or oratory. Used as both a salutation, thumbs back and fingers up. Roughly translated as, I bow to the gods within you. Aiden?
Namaste.
That's right. An undamped weight attached to one oscillation about an equilibrium position. A simple pendulum exhibits what kind of motion in which acceleration is proportional to displacement? Dustin.
Swinging?
It's incorrect. Sounds terrible. It is harmonic motion. Give the English name for the Johann Strauss waltz, originally titled Hand, extended by Franz Joseph I of Austria to Wilhelm II of Germany in August of 1880. It is the Emperor Waltz. What Jewish holiday celebrates that a tiny bit of olive oil miraculously kept the Lucas? Aiden.
Laos.
That's right. What is the limit of as x approaches infinity of x cubed over negative 12 with his crew fighting the British on the deck above? The dying Captain Lawrence is said to have issued what 5-word order? Aiden.
Fight until your deaths.
No, don't give up the ship. Water's higher density. What is this quantity? About 742 miles per hour in air. Dustin.
The speed of light.
There, Joseph and Solomon married women from there. Abraham and Sarah lived there for a while. Jacob and his sons settled there. Joseph and Mary and Jesus fled there. And Moses was born there. Where? Dustin.
Israel?
Incorrect.
South Terrebonne. The most common translation to this two-word expression from an ode by Horace is applied to love poems such as To His Coy Mistress. It was also a mantra from the motion picture Dead Poet. Phrase meaning seize the day. Dustin.
Carpe diem.
That's right. The answer is not the Gulf of Oman, but this other body of water that washes the shores of Oman. Mumbai and Karachi are the most populous on it. What is this sea named for the peninsula it borders to? Tristan.
Gulf of Arabia.
No, the Arabian Sea. This part of the U.S. was discovered by Columbus. Ponce de Leon established the first. Lucas.
Caribbean.
Incorrect. The first in the 1940s, a government program called Operation Bootstrap improved conditions there. Hurricane Maria devastated the island. Tristan.
Puerto Rico.
That's correct. And this question. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne Parish District domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. 6500.
I am a professional firefighter. Because of the line of work I'm in, there's a much higher risk to develop cancer. Support you in the manner that you need. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center is a place that you would want to come. I had to be positive. It's my mission to live a long, healthy, cancer-free life.
HL Bourgeois pulling it out on the last question. South Terrebonne for this year. Lucas, the only captain, the only senior. Enjoy the rest of your senior year. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week on South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. Good night.
Tune in this week to our show One-on-One with Martin Falls, as Martin sits down with Kurt Shake Snyder to talk about his life journey and to share his most memorable moments. One-on-One airs Monday through Sunday. This is an episode you don't want to miss.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Commitment and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. Better when we bank together.
Heavy duty pulling power. The GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% APR for 5 years on 2023 Sierra Heavy Duty SLT models. We are professional grade GMC.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Hi, I'm Martin Falls, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks to a great staff.
Insurance companies often deny, delay, don't pay enough. Hurricane Ida has Now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by their insurance companies. Don't give up. At Waits & Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that your goal to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. So once again, don't give. Call today for a free consultation. We are local and we are here to stay. Let our years of experience work for you. Pick up the phone.
Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissheit, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. Whoever you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And very glad to have with me back.
Thanks for having me again today.
All right. Of course, Terrebonne Parish Council District number 5. And I know one of those things that we always think about at this time of year, it's springtime. That come through that we get concerned about, especially because we have a lot of these southerly winds and it kind of impacts us. Let's talk a little bit about this weather that we're expecting.
Coastal weather. It's not a tropical system, but it's more of a coastal event, and so we're going to get a lot of winds with that. And so the levee district has. They are looking to close some of the lock systems. And if you just bear with me, I want to read that to everyone.
Okay.
This is from the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District. Possible floodgate closures.
Okay.
Due to coastal flood watch effective from April 10th, 2023, the following floodgates will be monitored for closure. Starting Monday, April 10th, 2023, Humboldt Canal, Bayou Terrebonne Lock, and lower due large floodgates may be affected. So they have not decided to close them yet. However, if they do, it will follow Terrebonne Parish emergency preparedness,
Right.
Because that's a really good site. They always give the most accurate to watches and warnings or floodgate closures or anything like that. So that's definitely a good resource for the parish.
Yeah, and it's a really good point. It's one of those things as we talk about these and the fact that they do such a great job. Everything with Morganza to the Gulf, people hear that term, but I don't know that they realize the money in with both state and national entities about providing a lot of these our residents very easily.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, there's such a science behind it as well. I mean, they just don't open and close them. Some really, really, really great people who are involved in that in our levee district. And so we are blessed here in Terrebonne Parish. And, a lot of that we taxed ourselves as well. We have a world-renowned lock system and levee system, protection system. And so it's something to be very, very proud of.
Yeah, and, it's one of those things we talk, Office of Emergency Preparedness do such a great job because of the good communication. And not only is it the fact, and you bring up a really good point, the people need to feel to make sure that we have these things. And whether we got the government money or the state funding or not, we were already prepared to do these kinds of things. Some information has come to us to know that we may need to close these, especially with all the people in the fisheries industries.
Absolutely.
And just gates that's down the bayou. And so, Jason, we appreciate that very much. This is Cocodrie, which is a lower Little Caillou down in Cocodrie, as one that was mentioned on the list. So we may have to close the one down in Pointe-aux-Chenes. And so, Jessica, it's just one of those things that as we show this, and they don't know what to do, but we can think about it ahead of time.
Absolutely. And, I don't think this work is ever going to be completed. I think that this is going to be this for us, and we've got great people in place to be able to continue that process. I hear people say, well, why do we have so much focus on the locks, or why do we have so much focus on the levees? Well, if we don't protect the people within those locks, done and what we continue to do is so very, very important.
Yeah, it's one of those things, talking with the levee districts, and both of them, Terrebonne and Lafourche, talking about how we're at 8 feet now, and that's not enough. At 12 feet now, They talked about the fact that 15's not enough, 20's not enough, 25, because if we get another similar storm like we did with Ida just a couple of years ago, that if it moved just a little bit more to the west, we'd have had 20, 25 feet to deal with. And so you're exactly right. What a great point that we're never really satisfied. Right, with the height of that. And we appreciate the fact that those people who work here with the council are always thinking about that, always open to making sure that people are.
Yep, clear out all your storm drains and catch bases and things like that. I know a lot of people have been cutting grass lately. Just make sure you don't have any grass on bad weather or too much rain. But if we do, and if we do have any localized street flooding or anything like that, you know, call your council person.
To be able to do that. Jessica, we appreciate your time. You'd be able to stick around a couple more segments for us?
Absolutely.
All right, we appreciate it. All right, spending some time here with Council Chair Jessica Domingue. We're going to spend more time with her. You do.
Largest healthcare resource in Southeast Louisiana, offering a high-tech and high-touch style of healing. World-renowned services include cardiology, women
physicians, nurses, and staff who make up our proud Terrebonne General family. We are here to provide healthcare for our community.
To discover more
News from Barker Honda. Introducing the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V. A new rugged design, longer, wider, with a plus larger rear cargo space with power tailgate. Hurry in and see the all-new larger 2023 CR-V now in stock. It's better at Barker.
Thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive. You're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to
Your new Phillips 66 on the corner of 311 and Savan Road. We have all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner needs with smoked ribs, liquors, beer, tobacco, and vapes. Going fishing? We have your bait and tackle and the ice to keep your catch cool. Cypress Stop, home of the happy.
The organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Value Time. Again, your host Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However many you're joining us, we appreciate it. Very glad to have with us that affects all of the events that we have going on. But for me, it's just coming off of Easter, always kind of makes me think what people do and what their was like.
So, last week, obviously, the kids were still in school.
Right.
So Good Friday, we always have a big family get together. Easter Sunday is really kind of laid back. We go to Mass, and Mass was really nice because we did the 9 o'clock Mass, and the bishop actually did the Mass.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a very, very do that as a family, and then we cook a big meal and have our family over. And so it's nice, and my kids get their baskets and things like that. And then we just kind of really didn't make any plans because it turned out to be a council week, and so I had to be here for council. And my original intention was to let my kids swim all week.
Right.
However, too awful for us to be able to let them do that, and so they're just kind of hanging at home playing Nintendo Switch and playing Lego, relaxing, I guess.
And so it was really interesting. Your family and mine are very, very similar in what we do. But it was my wife's birthday this week, and so happy birthday, honey! Another happy birthday. She gets the whole month, by the way. She gets the month of April. But for us, Holy Week's a really With that older generation, even though they're, you know, the church doesn't necessarily require them to do certain things, they have a full week. On Monday, they have something special normal. And they do that on Monday. Tuesday, we did one of my wife's celebrations for her meals with my parents, but on Wednesday, they have the Seder meal, and that's something that they normally do in washing of the feet. Just in simulating that. And then, of course, on Friday, Good Friday, my parents go to the Way of the Cross, and they do, some do the benediction. That's a big event. And then Holy Saturday, for me and my family, was 4 birthdays celebrating. So we did crawfish on Saturday. And then Sunday, when we went to Mass, Bishop just reinstated is being able to celebrate both the bread and the wine at Mass. So did that take place as well?
It did not take.
Very interesting. And so it was that's one of the things that they just changed as of Easter Sunday. And so it was just one of those things that we talked about with Father Joe. Implementation, and people can participate or not. I would be very interested to see. There was only about 10% of the people in Mass, and we went Sunday evening. Lunch on Sunday. But it was interesting, only about 10% of the people did that. And it's just, it goes back to what we're dealing with. But here we talk about these weather systems and how that affects what can happen for your kids this week, right? It's really been impacting a lot of our festivals and things that are going on. But we've got a lot of those here of late.
We do. It's been a really busy spring. I feel like every weekend we've had something, but those things are always so much fun just to be part of our community and big ones.
Right.
So we have the Pirates and Boots Festival, which is going to be at the downtown marina, which is really fun. They have real pirates. I mean, it really is
really
super,
cool. So exciting.
Yes. So we haven't had the Ladybug Ball in I don't even remember how long it's been. It's been years.
It's been a while.
Yes. Yeah. So I know I never even brought my. And then a new festival is going to be the May the 4th Festival.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, yes.
On May the 4th.
On May the 4th is a Friday, and so that's going to be in downtown Houma, and that's going to be a really, really fun event. They did one last year at Zach's because it is Joe Boudreau in that group who's putting that on, and Randy who's putting that on. And so they're actually going to move that festival to downtown. The new Boulanger Street Plaza would have been open for that, but with weather and
delays, like you mentioned,
and
and
how contractors
delays,
are, it takes so that has been pushed back a little bit, but it is looking really, really beautiful down there.
It really is.
And then what I'm very excited. Inaugural Louisiana Blackberry Festival in Houma Heights subdivision, which is actually on the east side. Down there, and so we're going to have an inaugural, and so that's going to be really exciting because who would have festival in Louisiana?
With all the blackberries we have down here.
Yes. So that's going to be a really fun event. You'll be able to taste I think there's going to be blackberry wine and blackberry daiquiris, and of course every blackberry dish you can possibly imagine.
Blackberry dumplings for sure.
Yes, and I know they're going to have and so that's going to be a really exciting one for us. We're very much looking forward to that festival.
And it's really, really interesting. You mentioned the May the 4th. This will be the 3rd year. For the first year, and they had no idea. The following year, they had 800 to 900 people, and now they've just kind of had to move venues, and this is going to be really exciting. We had Chewbacca come on the set, and oh my. So for everybody excited about Star Wars and those things, they look forward to that. Thank you for going through all of those different festivals coming up. I know there have been a whole bunch here that we've started celebrating here in April as well. Going to stay with us. You do that as well. Take a short break right here. We'll be right back on Bayou Time.
Or your business. Bayou Pure specializes in disinfection application along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Call Bayou Pure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
Whether it's price, service, or selection, you gotta come to AJ Doman Chevrolet. We are South Louisiana's newest business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. Can't find the car you're looking for? Let us order it for you.
And remember, no credit, bad credit, we can help.
AJ Doman Chevrolet.
Chevrolet, the dealership that works for you. Highway 182 in Berwick.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
How important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
And protecting your business.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. Prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you're in a lush Vegas-style casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area.
Seven-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army. Is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy. Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non thriving.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues, with years of experience applying the results. Call for a free consultation.
Hello and welcome. Weissite, very glad to be joined by our council chair, Jessica Domingue. Jessica, welcome back to the program.
Thanks.
All right. Now listen, a lot of things going on. We're just talking about some of the festivals. Just on April the 1st, a couple of weeks ago, we had 3 or 4 different big events going on at the same time. And it's really enjoy that and be able to kind of really focus on getting back out and enjoying that time. You know, we missed it for so long. It's so nice to be able to get out.
How we're, hit by this storm that just devastated us, and I know we all know rebuilding communities and how can we rebuild communities, whether it's brick and mortar or it is actually the foundation, which is the people. And so that is how we I hosted a Easter egg hunt with some help of some neighbors, of course, in my neighborhood, and we had almost 75 kids there. It was unbelievable camaraderie and to see the joy in people's faces and people actually coming out and being together. And that really what this is about, is let's build our community. Having these small events, I think it's so important.
Well, I got to see the smaller version of that. I was leaving to go and visit with one of my friend's dad. So I went to visit with them in the afternoon yesterday. And as I was leaving the neighborhood, there was 4 kids in probably an area where all 75 were about. Mm-hmm. That's what South Louisiana culture is about. That's certainly what Terrebonne Parish is about. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I agree with you. So I echo that sentiment. I stopped watching these kids have so much fun. So a great deal of joy brought to those people, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And so I know one of those things so bad, we need help with the roads. Why won't you do something? And then when they're trying to fix them, people are complaining about the traffic. It's almost a no-win situation. But we've had some lanes just. Right?
Yeah, so I have noticed this past weekend and this past week, there's been a lot of road striping happening, and I think that's something that will stripe those roads. And so hopefully we'll see that parish-wide, and we get a lot of those road stripes because that is so important for safety.
Well, and listen, not only that, I can tell you it's really interesting as time goes by and the older I get, the more advanced technology is. I now have only 2 vehicles at the home. Both of my vehicles have these lane adjustments. And so if the roads are striped, my car, without the person behind the wheel, you know, if by chance something happens, it can. Some people don't, but I will tell you, with having those lanes there and being able to have all of those things done and brightly done and well done, even the ones that aren't paying attention.
Absolutely, and you know, I know we're just outside of Main Street, and it seems like it's been. But that's an LADOTD project.
Yes.
And you actually are going to see a lot more LADOTD projects in the near future because they have. So they're going to start. So you're going to see a lot of that, and so bear with us. I mean, when the state comes and says we're going to fix your roads, when we want to greet them with open arms, roads getting better.
And it's one of the things that people are asking about all the time. People are always asking, you know, better roads, better schools, and you know, working on that. And so I know as we work on those things, coming up, we don't have a whole lot to go over with this meeting coming up. The council chair for the council meeting, not to have so many subject headings, but just a couple of minutes on that.
Yeah, let's keep things slow through about November 1st.
Right there, Jessica.
Well, you know, that is a very on the actual work that we need to be doing, and so we are, and sometimes the agendas, they're just a little bit lighter than others, so you'll see a lot. We have a few speaker cards coming in. A few people want to discuss some issues that they are concerned with. And anybody can do that. Anybody can come or you know, call me or call our office and ask to be put on the agenda to discuss whatever it is that they're concerned on, just general business.
Well, and again, that's a wonderful thing to have, to be able to kind of just do general business. It means that people aren't so really hot and bothered, if you will. Doing well, right? It's one of those determining factors. Less calls means things are going a little bit better, and you can kind of stick to that subject matter, stick to kind of do that. So that's exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
it's good. It's good.
Yeah. Less is more sometimes. This is that example.
You were
Penny
right
used
about
to say that all the time. And so, Jessica, we thank you so very much, not only for what you do for the community, but coming on and helping us understand, explain to us some of the things that are happening. So
thank you for having me.
All right. And go anywhere. A whole lot more local programming right here on HTV.
Save during Springfest at Barker Mitsubishi. Drive home at Barker Mitsubishi in Houma or shop online at barkermitsubishi.com.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
Someone else's neglect. Our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bork today.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day, the negative stories, we look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing and
School zone safety.
Drivers are required to yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. Always stop when someone is in the road and wait for them to cross completely before proceeding. Follow the speed limit and always stop when school buses are picking up and dropping off students.
Keeping students safe is a community responsibility, so let's all do our part.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne Parent Domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Alford, your host for To Your Health with Terrebonne General Health System. Only offered by Terrebonne General. Join us each Wednesday at 7 p.m. to stay up to date with the latest innovations in health. Terrebonne General provides healthcare breakthroughs and women's health, health and wellness, and much more. You don't want to miss our next To Your Health. See you then.
Now it's getting close to my age, so we have a lot to talk about. My guest is going to be Kurt Shake Snyder. And a lot of you know Kurt from the area, but you may have forgot how good an athlete he was. He was a pretty doggone good athlete. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk with Kurt. Transition from Terrebonne to HL Bourgeois, and I have a lot of memories watching him play against my brother's teams. He also played against a lot of talent. They had a lot of talent on their team. When we come back, he'll be my guest on One-on-One.
One-on-One is brought to you by the law office of Waits and Downer.
Insurance companies often enough. Hurricane Ida has decimated Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. By now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by their insurance companies. Don't give up. At Waits and Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal experience help you need. At Waits and Downer, it's our goal to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse you. So once again, don't give up. That's exactly what the insurance companies want you to do. Call today for a free consultation. Let our years of experience work for you. Pick up the phone, 985-876-0870.
2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. For 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high-output engine Sierra light-duty elevation crew cab models.
Largest healthcare resource in Southeast Louisiana, offering a high-tech and high-touch style of healing. World-renowned services include cardiology, women's health, cancer care, and a healthy lifestyle center.
This is a true calling for all the physicians, nurses, and staff who make up our proud Terrebonne General family. For our community.
To discover more, please visit tghealthsystem.com.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou. 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and a wide selection of beer, soft drinks, and chips for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drinks. Casino. Big Wheels also has one of the largest subways in the area, so stop by Big Wheels Travel Center where everyone's a winner.
Some people know now when they're freshmen that they're being recruited. I went to a basketball game last night and they got some pretty good athletes. They're going to start getting the hints early. When did it come for you?
My junior year, I started getting some letters from some of the local schools, Southeastern, USL,
you know, and I'm like, wow, what do you mean? I might get a scholarship or something? Other than that, you know, and
there weren't Facebook or messages.
No
and it
cell
normally
phones.
comes from a typewritten letter that you get, and a lot of times type it, I guess, or whatever. But what do you remember most about it? Being recruited.
It was just an honor to even be, you know, mentioned at possibly playing.
Was it Bob Cole, or who was at USL at the time?
It was Russ Falkenberry.
Really?
Yes.
Falkenberry, where's that from?
He had been there for a long time. Was at USL in '68, and he was the quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, he was the coach. And then I came in a transition period. Augie Tamarella, and he had got the head coaching job, but they moved from the Raging Cajuns, from the, what was their previous name? Anyway, we became the Raging Cajuns.
That transition like from high school to college?
Oh, it was a big transition. I mean, you know, high school, you kind of just went out, did your thing, and, you know, did your best. When you got fees, they taught you different things. You had to extremely work out, you know, training, stretching, all that stuff. You know, it was definitely excellent receiver coach at USL, and taught me a lot of stuff. And, you know, I got to play with some really good players. One fellow had a track scholarship to finish his education. His name was Harold Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And funny guy, just a great guy. And then we had a kicker that was played in the pro.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was my suite mate.
Yeah, Raphael Septi. He did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So USL had some good kickers.
Yes.
Throughout the years.
Richie came in a few years back, but he also had a professional career.
I'm trying to think of the one who was after Raphael Septi, and he was good too.
Yeah.
They were all good. They just recruited well against a lot of kickers. You get there and you talk about Harold Porter, but the talent when you get to college, what's the difference between high school and college?
That was a big difference. Yeah. When I got to USL, they used to keep a depth chart, and I was number 5 on the depth.
You would have been.
Yeah. So it was a big challenge to move up the ladder. So.
But how did you go through that process? Because I want to talk to a lot of the young. When they leave their school, they got that little strut with them. And when they get to college, the strut ain't there anymore because they realize, hey, they got some pretty good talent out there.
You got to figure most everybody on the field has a scholarship, so they had to be somewhat the best in high school. And yeah, there is a lot of talent, you know, a lot of speed, a lot of everything. And you kind of gear yourself, where do I need to be to play in this league? And so you just work harder and you try and do.
Never fails that our conversations at the coffee shop, or, I mean, if you're sitting there talking with Brian Gano or Paul Hopgood, who had some, Sullivan, Don Schwab, got to see guys like Jesse Miles and all these people. The athletic abilities of people in this area. We had incredible athletes coming out. It seemed like during your era, I mean, now you get 1 or 2 sprinklings. But back then, I don't know if it's games to go play every day.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have video. We were outside playing. That's exactly correct.
So you were developing muscles, developing skills. Their hand-eye coordination today is pretty good. They can do all that.
Probably a lot better than ours.
Yeah, they're probably good in tanks and everything else, but you actually had to get out there and do the physical.
I only had him for the 1 year, but I'm sure their off-season program was all about weightlifting and getting in shape, because he's had some really good teams after, you know, again, I was there.
Now, it's such a big thing.
Well, I can remember my oldest brother workout program, and sometimes he'd let me come along with him, and, you know, I got to see some of the guys that played on their football team and stuff, because I'm made every game, and I was, You know, but they did have a good workout program over there.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call Waits and Downer Law Firm.
Don't give up. At Waits and Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the Get the help you need. At Waits and Downer, it's our goal to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. Let our years of experience work for you.
I am, you know, there's a much higher risk to develop cancer. You're looking for a place that is going to support you in the manner that you need. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center is a place that you would want to come. I had to be positive to show everybody to live a long, healthy, cancer-free life.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road or the off-road. Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% APR for 5 years on 2023 Sierra Heavy Duty.
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a CDL, we will train you. You must $18,253 to $29,859. Benefits include free health insurance and retirement. At 985-876-7400.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? Is dedicated to ending domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. Call the Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office at 873-6500.
Who was the best athlete that you saw? And let's take it from your sophomore to maybe your senior year. I know we saw people on the field or on a basketball court or whatever sport you in that you just went, holy, you saw.
Well, when I was playing basketball at Terrebonne High, they had this fellow by the name of Eddie Fields who was at East Jefferson. He was heads and tails above everybody. I mean, we'd sit there and watch him and like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Were you there in the days of Larry Wilson?
I was. Larry and I graduated in '74.
Okay. He was incredible.
Larry was going to make his 25, 30 points.
I remember somebody held him to 21 points one night and they thought they had won the lottery.
Absolutely. I mean, he was just that.
And then he decides to go to Nichols. And he stayed at Nichols when Dale Brown thought he had him at LSU, but the mama wanted him at Nichols so she could watch him play.
And it packed when Larry played.
Yeah. And you know, I've been trying to get Ted Badger on the show, but Ted was a unique talent too.
He was. Excellent football player. But plus he had a lot of intuition. He was fun to play with. I mean,
he was like a little Fran Tarkington, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he used to study. I think more than anything, and I can't really speak for him, but the influence in his, I mean, the way he used to set up and hold the ball and stuff.
But Ted wasn't as vocal as Joe Namath for sure.
Oh, no.
He's more the
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no doubt. As you look back and you see that y'all were setting tones, and you move from Terrebonne to H.L. Bourgeois. Terrebonne, do you often think, I wonder if I would have stayed at Terrebonne?
No, not at all. Again, it was a transition period. Friends, but he was just an excellent quarterback. And without anybody coming up, like if they'd have had a sophomore or junior, well, Jamie Pizzolata was a couple of years behind. Yeah, I didn't have any misfeelings about that at all. It just, I was a wide receiver. You know, you need somebody to throw the ball.
Was it ever a sense or an inkling or an opportunity that you could maybe go pro?
No. You know, you always have those dreams as a kid, you know, because you used to watch the games on Sunday. It never entered my mind because I didn't play all 4 years at USL.
Which brings me to the point. Of all the good athletes I've seen in this area, there's always that transition between high school and college. And what do I do for the rest of my life?
And I'm sure there's thousands of people that fall into that category.
Because everybody thinks, okay, but they end up here. But then you got to make a living. Tell me what happened after the reality of, and it's a teaching lesson for people watching. My athletic career is not over. I'm going to still play intramural, which you did. I'm going to still go to the gym. I'm going to still do flag football. I'm going to still do that. But now I got to bring in money.
You didn't have a career goal. You know, there's a transition period where you just kind of float around until something strikes it and you kind of grow up and say, hey, I need to do what I need to do. And so I had several jobs, you know, and I was very fortunate because in those days, jobs were easy to get. I mean, they may be as well now, but I mean, kind of like, yeah, you need to do that. Sandblasting, painting, working offshore, roughnecking, roustabouting, you know, doing anything.
You weren't brought up soft.
No, not at all.
But you have a soft, funny side, because when I see the group get together, you better be ready to throw a volley back because you're going to get one coming at you.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's just sort of the nature of the group, isn't it?
Sure. And that group was always focused. Mike is, you know, as you know, a great guy. But he always had vision and focus, career path.
Right.
A lot of us didn't have that. You know, he was a big influence on my professional career because from him being in a respiratory therapist situation, working at the hospital, school, getting my degree, and then going to work as a respiratory therapist. And that snowballed into me spending 25 years as a pharmaceutical salesperson, and partially due to Mike's influence. I have a lot of respect for your brother.
But y'all have a unique group. When I say, you know, in the attack mode all the time, because y'all will jump on the other one in a funny way, and when they come back, y'all firing away again. That's a unique group.
Right. A group of friends, and no matter what, you'll always be friends. And so, yeah, I'm very fortunate in that. I do have a lot of good friends.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call.
Insurance companies often deny, delay, don't pay decimated Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. By now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by their insurance companies. Don't give up. To make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal experience and ability to make them pay. Get the help you need. Your full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. So once again, don't give up. That's exactly what the insurance companies want you to do. Call today for a free consultation. We are local and we are. Pick up the phone, 985-876-0870 for a free consultation.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology. Cardio.com.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Jessica Domingue, and today we're going to talk about school zone safety.
Drivers are required to yield to pedestrians cross completely before proceeding. Follow the speed limit and always stop when school buses are picking up and dropping off students.
Keeping students all do our part.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. The premium off-roading.
Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on light-duty Elevation Crew Cab models.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day, always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff. Of course, you started a family and you had beautiful children, and they're doing great things today. So how I was so used to catching a football, and then I had a job, and now I got to make sure I feed the kids.
Absolutely. I mean, again, that's from being immature, holding to being mature and raising a family and being committed, because I was very blessed. You know, I have great kids, and another blessing. So
as you look back and you think about fun, and like you said, you look forward to going to school. I look forward to going to school every day. I don't doing that. I never really interviewed a high school kid, but what do you think made that chemistry for you to want to go to school?
There was nobody at home, so if you were, I mean, if I was sick, that was, you know, do whatever you had to do, but it wasn't going anywhere or doing anything. It was staying at home, being in bed. It was more fun at school than it was having to stay home, that's for sure.
All right, so I asked you who was the best athlete you were around. Now I'm really going to put you on the spot.
What's that?
This is going to be coffee talk. Athlete that you ever saw come out of this area, who would it be and why?
When you talk about athletes, you talk about commitment, but then there's different types of sports. You know, I have a good friend of mine who was big into martial arts. And when you think about being into martial arts, you know, you're pretty good. This guy's a 5th degree black belt.
Talking about Joey Essa?
Well, I didn't want to mention any names.
No, we'll say it, yeah.
He's unique. He's very smart, very gifted. Concentration, commitment, and all that goes into being that.
And I didn't realize all that. He played basketball with us, but I never thought he was into martial arts. That was a secret kind of.
Out of New Orleans a lot, and so that was a commitment as well, going back and forth, and you know, to accomplish all that kind of stuff. But those are the different kind of sports that, you know, has worked hard and has accomplished a lot. I mean, geez, Wally Whitehurst, you know, he's a great pitcher, you know, followed a lot of his career. Very unique. Always good to be around.
Yeah.
You know, so I have a lot of respect for him as well.
I knew asking you for one would not work. You got to give me a bunch, but who's the best football player?
If he broke the corner, you could forget it. It was done. He was an excellent running back. But you know, there's been a lot.
Of course, we grew up watching Frank.
Right.
God, so many people that we were in this immediate area. When you go to Lafourche and Thibodeau, it just gets bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
And broad. If I wait, and I know we've had fun throughout the years, but I wanted to pay respect for your accomplishment. And all your buddies got together at one table. And I said, come on, we got to think of one word to describe Kurt Shakesonata. And a little folded up piece of paper, and I'll open it and I'll acknowledge to him what the one word is. What would you hope it would be?
I really hope it would be blessed, because I've been blessed in so many ways. I've had great family. My mom, my dad, great people. My siblings, super people. My children, I'm extremely blessed. So hopefully it would be blessed.
All right, Kurt, enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being my guest, and we look for big throughout the year.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
All right.
For all of your cases, including those with catastrophic significance, call
Structural heart disease refers to a defect properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. To the communities in South Louisiana, South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
The 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. Sierra light-duty elevation crew cab models.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Billy's Best Brands Plus has all of your bedding, or dryer, refrigerator, or stove. At Billy's, we have a wide selection of HD TVs and home theater systems. Plus, only at Billy's Best Brands Plus. And let us deliver to you. Billy's Best Brands Plus, located at 5805 West Main Street in Houma.
Is daunting, and the psychological effects can do enduring damage. Obviously, all abuse needs to end. But how? The Terrebonne violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
the only time all year that we'll have gone 3 days in a row without having a game. It's kind of weird, to be honest with you. Excited to get back out on the field to practice today, and weather permitting.
Was it nice to kind of catch your breath and gather your thoughts about your pitching?
We haven't played on Sunday. It'll be 4 this week, so we're kind of in that routine. It's been nice to have Sunday to scout the future opponent, line things up. I guess if there was one advantage of not playing, it gives us an extra day and have a good, grouping of guys that we can use Thursday. So I think it helps in a lot of ways. But these guys want to get on the field. I mean, they're disappointed not to play that third game.
Do you have any updates on?
Further evaluated today, so we'll see.
Just depending on, not really depending, but whatever happens with him or any other guy performance this weekend, is his role going to increase?
Oh yeah. Next man up. I want to shock the world and be the only team in the history of college baseball that can withstand injuries and still have the type of season that they want to have. And I have a lot of confidence in the guys that are available, and hopefully we'll get a couple of the other guys back in due time. But in this league, it's hard. You see it with, a couple teams have a couple guys go down, and it changes the complexion of we can withstand it. And it was built that way and designed that way. And whether it's Gavin Guidry, Griffin Herring, Bryce Collins, Riley Cooper, Christian Little, Thatcher Hurd, let's go. Let's strap it on and find a way to do it.
Just like Herring is a bullpen guy or starter?
Well, I stopped him at 50 pitches. And wanted to stay in the game, and he deserved to stay in the game. But it's I think 35 had been the most he had done. We could certainly go further than that. He's going to start. It's just a matter of when. But I think if you look at composure, presence, that's what really stood out about Griffin and Gavin's performance. I think younger and older pitchers command ourselves in a tight game. We won the game. Obviously, we got a couple free bases and a big home run, but we won the game because how those guys held it together. He came in a really tough spot after an injury with the bases loaded, no outs, and they only scored 1 run. We won by 1 run. So that was awesome out of Griffin. And then Gavin, just super competitive. I think he pitched great. I actually thought he even pitched better than the results. We had a couple calls not go our way, and he was able to land a big 2-1, got the strike, didn't get the call on the next one, and then strike 3. So it's really exciting. Good way to finish games with young players. It's really hard to do for young players. It's a tough league for young players, and they don't look like it right now.
Did you expect Gavin to be this much of a contributor for you as a pitcher this year around?
I thought he could. The situation's obviously changed a little bit to where it's more of a necessity, and it changed on the position player side of it too. George, that's I'd be a fool to do that. And then Gavin Dugas's emergence to play as good as he has defensively, and then play better than he ever has offensively. I know he's hit some homers before, but the at bats that we're getting, and whether it's him setting the table or driving people in are phenomenal. Gavin is an infielder to play right now on this team, so it gives us the flexibility to get him into this pitching thing. We just needed time built up properly, and so we started in on that after Christmas, I have full confidence in him. And obviously, if we put him in that game, that tells you that he's going to be in that situation again.
Are you guys kind of
Sorry, are you guys fully leaning into the pitching side then with him this year, or do you?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, great competitor, great athlete, which allows him to fulfill the role that he has stayed super engaged in everything that we're doing as much as he'd like to. And we got a lot of guys like that. I mean, that's, you speak to the character of this team. And I even think of like a guy like Hayden Travinsky has had limited opportunities, done well. And stayed engaged in what we're doing. And, I just look for little things like in team meetings, eye contact and, head nods, with guys that maybe are on the peripheral, but they're preparing and working like, I trust them to be ready when it's their time. And
Like an uptick in its velocity and just sort of more comfortable, being more comfortable.
well, we've adjusted from the first outing was unbelievable. I think it was against Butler. I mean, stuff was, I don't remember who the second outing was against, but it dipped down a little bit. And so we just kind of tweaked some like load management things and build up and the covering better. He's doing the things he needs to do.
Now at Barker Honda.
Well, they're here and the lot's filling up fast.
And we have more coming in every day at Barker. On your card. Passports and Odysseys now in stock. So come on by to Barker Honda and take advantage of our amazing deals, and you'll see why.
It's better at Barker.
My role model would be my mom. She has such and that really just makes me want to be her, want to be like her, just to be successful.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team
Customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading.
Days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty elevation crew cab models.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV. And every day, we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing. Staff.
I'm Chris St. Martin. Many of us know what it means to have roots here on the Bayou. I'm no different. My family has been here for generations. Bork has been helping the injured in this region for almost 50 years. We're honored to serve the people of South Louisiana and the Bayou region. Remember, if you've been hurt in an accident and you want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
General Health Systems Community Sports Institute, in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Seeing the way they have, just how big of a storyline has that?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, I think that could give us the jolt that he's given us. we just needed to get him healthy. I mean, he just hasn't been healthy. And so to get him healthy and then for him to step in and be a great competitor that he has, I mean, he's first team All-American second baseman right now. Like, I don't know what anybody else is doing, but it's got to be him, you know. You know, that was a big loss last year. I mean, nobody remembers because it happened right before the season. We really could have used him last year. And when you have Dylan and Tommy, sometimes all you need is a really quality professional at bat after those guys come up, and that's what he's given us. And you know, you'll obviously continue to see him in there a lot, and really happy about that from the day I was the coach here. And he's put in a ton of work, like, and so now to see it come to fruition and him be a massive contributor to this team, he deserves all the credit for that.
I remember you saying when you got here, he was one of the guys where you just scrapped everything in terms of his.
He'd had some success earlier on in his career and then had a really bad 2020 at bats from that team that year, and he just looked overmatched. And so I showed him some things we'd done with guys with similar body types, similar swings, and said, this is what we're going to do. And I mean, there was no hesitation, was super excited, started in on his own in the summer. And then once we started, him and Coach Wanaka worked really hard. I mean, being an older player, he's here all the time. Those guys have a little more class, flexibility, and just super balanced. And it's tapped into some of his strength more. And I mean, he's gotten healthier as he's gone along this year too. So it's fun to coach those players that you know, have the mind to do it and have the work ethic to do it and determination to do it. Like, he hadn't got hurt last year, we wouldn't have him here this year. And sometimes to have a great team or great season, stuff like that kind of just works out for you. And I think that's what's happened.
Like, how does he work with these players, and, you know, what makes him so, like, instrumental as a hitting coach? I mean, you have to have some insight on that. He's the second year here.
Like, there's no mixed messaging. Like, I set out, this is what we're doing on offense, and then trust that individually in the cages on a daily basis while I'm on the field, the right messaging is getting there. And I think if you ask the players, it's just his availability, you know, to work with them whenever. Really good personality, connects with them really, really well. And they know, you know, the player needs to know you care before they care what you know, type thing. I mean, that's Mark. Like, he's elite at that. He's a really good person. You know, he's one of those guys that, and you know, he just has a lot to offer the players in terms of communication, availability, knowledge, and solid messaging. Yeah, no, they're fine. They're the best team I've ever seen with that record. Like, they probably played too tough a schedule, to be honest with you. I mean, Jay Ullman was at Oregon while I was at Arizona. I mean, he played at Nevada. I coached at Nevada, so I've known him for a long time. Justin Bridgman, their assistant coach, one of my former players. So they'll be fine. Like that. If we win, I'm gonna walk out of there feeling like it's a good win. Yeah, I'm not buying it, and I think they'll finish better in the American. Probably several guys. How we're ordering it or setting it up, I'm not ready to put that out there yet.
You were talking about Tulane playing a tough schedule to win a national championship. I know your preseason schedule is coming to question this year, obviously. Is there value of both of those extremes?
As far as people's opinion, I just think people like to complain about things. I mean, it's just too much energy to be positive about, you know, the national champion baseball team. Like, we have a reason for everything that we do. You know, I'm trying to think on ours. I can't speak to theirs. I don't know the sport. I know they won all but 2 games, and they held the trophy. So I think their decision making was pretty sound. You know, I mean, I mean, they're right up at the top of the Big 12 standings. Great record. Iowa's really good. Sam Houston's winning the WAC. Texas is winning the Big 12. In their league, Samford's winning their league. I actually went through last night and was looking at Warren Nolan like, yeah, we did fine on the scheduling thing. Just because we won a bunch of games, guys, than the opponent.
Should we expect to see Eckenhausen back in the lineup soon? And
I sure hope so. He's only thrown 6 times. Like, got to get him back. Like, and it's a hamstring thing, not a arm thing, and that's held us up a little bit. Like, country, like, he's working hard. I mean, it's the guy couldn't have Easter Sunday without his coach calling him and saying, "Hey, are you in the training room right now?" Team.
What's been it like for you to see Alex Milazzo kind of adapt to his new role? I mean, I feel like there was a couple weeks there where all he did was bunt. He comes in, he gets a big hit after a big hit, and just being a veteran leader.
And it's probably more of them, like just the pure leadership, the player leadership, the self accountability of keeping everybody on the same page no matter their role. That's hard. And weekly with players that probably should play more. And if they played instead of somebody else playing, the results wouldn't change that much. But we have incredible depth. It's like, he would tell you, I mean, there's not a lot more important players on our team if you really get down to it. And I'm super excited for his individual success. And I'm excited when he's in there, you know, and he'll continue to be in there. And he's been phenomenal. An improvement in play, all of it super positive.
How do you convince kids that, like you're saying, that you have the conversations with, that their role in this process is adequate, that it's going to be a huge part moving forward?
Yeah.
This day and age.
No, it's a good question. Brett McCabe, Dr. Brett was like in October, and you know, he had an interesting saying. He's like, the only love language today's player has is playing time. They think you can do about it. Like, you could be the best person. That's all that they know. And you know, I think what we try to do is we work with every player, and we have a player development plan for every player on the team. And they won't tell you that just because they're not in there that they don't get coached. Say that. And so I think that maybe goes a long ways. And then just communication. And for me, it's like, you know, the simple thought of the player might be, if I'm not playing, coach doesn't trust me. I think they know that we have more good players than spots on this particular team, and this is a very unique. And it doesn't mean that it's always hunky-dory all the time. Like, somebody will come in and it's like, hey, what can I do? It's like, I mean, you need to keep doing these things, but it doesn't guarantee that this is what. Hardest part is convincing them, like, when they're in there, just do their job to help us win and be successful is the most value they can create for themselves. Like, you can't go in there and play. You're going to fail, because then you're just complicating what you need to do. So high marks for these guys, though, you know, through this point. And that kind of stuff is why we come back and win the game. That dynamic. It doesn't mean we're going to be a champion or the best team or this and that, but I mean, they should be easy to get behind because how they handle that stuff.
Introducing the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V. A new rugged design, longer, wider, with a significantly broader stance. Spacious interior with more premium high-tech features. More second-row legroom comfort. Plus, larger rear cargo space with power tailgate. Hurry in and see the all now in stock. It's better at Barker. Barker Honda in Houma.
Whether it's your home or your business, buy if you're a special. Call Buy Your Pure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
I think what motivates me the most is my future and knowing that the foundation that I set up now, like whether it be like my study habits or just like getting involved in the community, that would make a huge impact on what I do later in life. Now will only promote me later in the future.
Heavy duty pulling power. To conquer the high road, the GMC Sierra Heavy Duty, Premium, and capable. 9% APR for 5 years on 2023 Sierra Heavy Duty SLT models. We are professional grade GMC.
Hi, I'm Councilwoman Jessica.
To yield to pedestrians in a crosswalk. Always stop when someone is in the road and wait for them to cross completely before proceeding. Follow. School buses are picking up and dropping off students.
Keeping students safe is a community responsibility, so let's all do our part.
Whether it's price, service, or selection, you gotta come to AJ Doman Chevrolet. We are South Louisiana's newest business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. Can't find the car you
And remember, no credit, bad credit, we can help.
AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge.
Give us a call today or visit us online at the dealership that works for you. Highway 182 in Berwick.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues. With years of experience applying Floor Shield products to both homes and businesses, you can trust our team to provide high.
Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
We didn't make enough plays. They made more plays down the stretch than we did. We made too many mistakes.
What was your message to the team in the locker room?
When you get to this 5-point game, 7 points off of free throw box outs. That's not Minnesota, that's us. That's us not doing our jobs. We played a solid game, but we didn't do enough down the stretch, and that's where we got to be better.
And how frustrating is it when it feels like those little things ended up costing?
We are where we are now, and we got to go home and regroup.
With the struggles on the offense in the fourth quarter in particular,
we started to play slow, and that's an area that we know when teams go small, we still got to play with force, we still got to play with pace, and we slowed the ball down a bit. They stepped on the floor, they fought, they played hard, they played together. We just didn't make enough plays.
And, B.I. ended up having a huge game, but it seemed like they made things really tough on him in the second half. Just what do you want to see from your team just to find other options when teams are putting that much focus on him?
That's a playoff type game where it's going to come down to who can execute on both ends of the floor. I thought we fouled way too much, put them at the free throw. A game that was gettable for us.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, you were trying to switch lineups a little bit. You played Larry some at the 5. You ended up going with Herb at the 5. Just what went into the decision, just the lineups you ended up playing there at the end?
Larry looked like something was bothering him. So, it was a tough game to continue to go with JV once they went small. So we decided to go with Herb.
And it was also, I think Trey only ended up with like 10 shots or something like that. Just what do you want to see from your offense just to create more looks for him, especially considering, the way he's been playing lately?
That's playoff basketball. Like, the games are going to come down. It's not going to be a high-scoring game at times during the playoffs because teams are allowed to do more. Even though this is the last game of the regular season, it was a playoff-like game for both teams to get seeding. So we need to expect this, that you may not get as many shots. The scores are not going to be as high. And we still have to have attack mentality.
And even beyond just the numbers, X's and O's, how much of this game just came down to just reacting and responding the way you needed to, and just the 3-point line as well, something we've talked about a lot. I think only ended up with three 3-pointers in this game. Just what did you see just from the inability to create those looks?
Not enough.
Exciting news from Barker Honda. Introducing the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V. A new rugged design, longer, wider, with a significant with more premium high-tech features, more second-row legroom comfort, plus larger rear cargo space with power tailgate. Hurry in and see the all-new in stock. It's better at Barker. Barker Honda in Houma.
Domestic violence is daunting, and the site, but how? The Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office is dedicated to ending domestic violence and helping those who have already experienced it. Our office supports many programs that educate and adjudicate abuse towards women. If you are a victim of abuse, call the Terrebonne Parish District Attorney's Office. 5500.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV. And I just wanted to thank my team because each and every day we look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Is equipped to conquer the great outdoors or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium.
Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly payments for 90 days on turbo high output engine Sierra light duty.
Heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present if heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, community forward.
Hi, everybody. This is Going Public. I am Harry McCullough, joined today by David Ravelade, Executive Director of the Terrebonne Port Commission. Dave, thanks so much for being with us, man. What kind of time of year is this for you guys?
Happy to be here. It's getting hot, and we're going to get rain, but, everything's good. We just keep plugging away.
Yeah. Do you guys have seasons? Is it, like you got
just
hurricane season?
Just hurricane season.
Yeah, you got Mardi Gras season, you got football season, hurricane
we
season.
have winter time where the water's a little lower than normal because of north winds, and summertime the tide's up a little bit, and then you have the hurricane season where,
particularly in the winter when it goes lower. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues you always have is dredging and making sure boats have enough for boating in the winter.
Oh yes, but wintertime, a lot of those companies don't do a lot of projects. Okay, I mean, boat repairs they do to fix them. And they do have issues. It just depends. And we have Indian summers during the winter, so sometimes you have 80 degrees and you know, it's humid and feels like summertime, and the tide comes up. Once you get the south wind, the tide comes back up. You know?
Right.
So, it's and know when not to go, you know? I mean, and those guys, that's what they have to do.
Yeah, because we got to like 18 degrees, I think, earlier in south wind for sure. So let's talk about the status of the HNC and I guess bay and inland drilling.
Yeah, so bay is the Terrebonne Bay, and then inland is from the bay dredging is really critical right now because we have a tenant that has to sail a boat out. We jumped through hoops to try to get the Corps positioned to start dredging in early February, okay? And we had everything in line. They bid the price. And all of a sudden, they had a contractor that protested, that didn't even bid. So it goes into a 35-day. The Mississippi Valley Division, which is in Vicksburg with the Corps, they review it and they determine whether it's legitimate or not. And they, let's say they decide it's not legitimate, well, then the contractor has an opportunity to appeal to the government to rule, okay? So the boat was supposed to sail out this month, toward the end of the month, and we would have started the contract, but that's not going to happen. So, you know, they got to use what they got, you know, so.
So can a boat go through this? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, look.
You don't want to scrape up the bottom, I guess.
So right now, the shallowest area in the bay is 13.5 feet. A foot of fluff under that. Okay, so you really have, and now the fluff is just a thick, syrupy, suspended.
Right, we've all.
It hangs down at the bottom of the channel. But what they do is the multi-beam hits the fluff and bounces off, so that's the depth it shows. But they go back and they drop what they call a lead line. It's just it's exactly what it is. It's a lead on a line, a tape measure, you know, that measures 3.5 foot of fluff, because it goes right through the fluff and goes straight to the hard bottom. And so hard bottom is what you really want to stay away from with those boats. But scratched up, you know, and so as it is, they're going to have to put floats under the back of the boat and put the front of the boat on a dry dock, and it's still it's just a huge boat, and you know.
Wait, is that the boat that we've been watching?
Yeah,
at Thomasy?
Yeah,
it's an icebreaker.
Yeah, no, it's a fish processor.
I got
okay. It
so
works out in Alaska.
Oh, we'll go.
But
boat,
it is, man. It's huge. But they said there's a fillet machine on there that can fillet 250 a minute. And I said, you know, you get a couple of Cajuns and give them some beer, they could probably keep up for a few hours. But after that, I mean, all bets are off. You know, they ain't gonna do that all day. You know.
They have.
It stands the fish up and it goes through a bandsaw. So it just kind of funnels all the fish and it just goes through there and it just splits them in half. I got to do with them, but on that fish processor, they actually get all the fish, catch them, make the product on the vessel, and when they load groceries and switch crews and they go back out again. So
you're not prepared for that. What kind of crew would a boat like that have?
I'd be lying if I told you, but in my mind, it's like 30 or 40 people, probably.
Be a big crew,
yeah,
I would think.
You know, I mean, and it may be more. I don't know. I don't know right off, and they've told me, but I don't really remember.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
a beautiful boat, and everybody that's passed on Industrial Boulevard has been watching that thing go up.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, 20 feet higher than, or 30 feet higher than what it is now, you know? So it's like, man, that thing's huge.
Yeah.
When the storm hit, when the hurricane hit, they had it off the land and on a dry dock. and they had the dry dock secured every which way they
Better, huh?
could.
You don't want that thing to flip
and
over.
they had chains and they had cable. It across the slip. It didn't flip it over. It just pushed it across the slip to the bank on the other side, and that's where she laid. No damage, except all the chains and cables were popped, and even the shore pop. Big, okay, it popped, you know. So that's. But you got to remember that thing's 300 foot, and it's just a wall.
Yeah, that's
300
a lot
foot
of surface.
20 feet high, okay? Right. So, I mean, that's a big surface for a storm to hit, you know?
Yeah, if you've been in a bus or RV, you know what those side winds do when you're going down the road. You imagine with a 300 surface wind that's going to hit it.
So, but, you know, we want more, we want our tenants to build vessels like that. We want to get them out. We want to get them back in. And it's just a matter of if we get the rocks on the east side of the channel like I've been asking for or wanting for the last 10 years, we at one time and born a hurricane or anything coming from the north, which
just won't be a normal.
We rarely get. We're gonna get. We know we got water, you know, and it's not like, well, we're gonna go over there and then we're gonna check and we got to, you know, and then we may not go in, you know, and that's the norm now, and we want to change that, you know. So
are we any closer to getting that kind of those rocks?
Well,
or I know
we're years away from that, unless we luck out. Every year I apply for grants for it, and you never know. We might luck out and get a grant.
Infrastructure bill, ports, all that kind of.
So one of these days it may get some legs, and we may be able to put some rocks at least adjacent to the barrier island, which may be a 2-mile section because. And it's just falling in the channel, and we dredge it out, and then it falls some more, and we dredge it out. It's coming in, but they can't really curve it anymore. Right. So it's just the barrier islands migrate. I mean, it's moving real estate is what it is. Battle that we're just going to keep fighting until we get something.
Well, it'd be beautiful, and I think for recreational fishermen and that kind of stuff, those rocks would attract all kind of fish. Awesome. That would be a great place to go. You know,
it'd be awesome.
Sure. It'd be one of the great places in the Gulf for people.
Not that they don't have any great places right now.
Oh yeah.
But this. You never know. I might have to go check it during the daytime just to see, you know, and make sure it's operating correctly, you know.
No,
do some bottom sampling, you know. I mean, because that's right. A good port director needs to do that every so often, just to make sure he's on top of his game, you know.
Okay. So, so most of the reach. So that's where we're.
So it's unfortunate for Thomas C. and I to get another one going up. I don't think they're going to build another one like that, although I don't know. But I know they have some big vessels to build for NOAA, for the National Administration.
And so when that boat leaves, it'll get in the Gulf and then it'll go to Alaska, you said?
Well, I think when it leaves, they're going to bring it somewhere else and finish coast.
And that would have to go through the Panama Canal?
Yes.
I guess it wouldn't go the other way.
Yeah.
But I know we got a lot of ice that's breaking on our northern poles, but I don't think it would go that way.
No.
It seemed like the Russians are doing that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where it's going to end up. It's going to be pretty cool. I think Thomas C's done a great job. I mean, they're you know, I mean, for a fabricator like them to take that project.
Port Commission is all about, when the port is all about there. You got a local success story. Those guys came up, you know, shrimping and ice factory. Yeah, that's a success story and something that can be done right here in Terrebonne Parish, which is, we need a whole lot more of that. All right, we'll take a break, Dave. We'll be right back. We'll talk about the northern on Going Public.
New company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. GIS Engineering is a full-service coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. Putting people first, GIS Engineering, a new
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor government regulations that affect our local industry and work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. It's a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry.
In South Louisiana, storms are a way of life. Every storm poses a different threat, whether from flooding or hurricane-force winds. At all, our people from these disasters. Before a storm, we work with our leaders to prevent catastrophic resources needed for rebuilding. We have helped our cities, parishes, and school boards recover over $2 billion to rebuild our community. We'll be here for the next one.
I wanted to thank my team because each and every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Well, they're here, and the lot's filling up fast.
And we have more coming in every day at Barker. On your cars, HRV. We have pilots, passports, and Odysseys now in stock. So come on by to Barker Honda and take advantage of our amazing deals, and you'll see why.
A new company with a lot of history. GIS Engineering has rapidly grown its brand around an experienced team of professionals. Procurement and construction management company specializing in coastal protection and restoration, upstream and downstream industrial, and transportation infrastructure projects. With a lot of history.
Hey everybody, this is Going Public. Harry McCullough here with David Ravelette, Executive Director of the Terrebonne Port Commission. So we talked about the bay. Let's go north a little bit. So the inland dredging would be from Cocodrie north, right?
Right. And that project was bid, well, they began production on December 15th, 2022. The contract has a total of 8.4 miles of length of channel to be dredged. Now, this project's going to be done in 3 sections. It's non-continuous, so they're going to do 25 to mile 28. The second section is mile 19.8 to 21.6, all going north. And then the last section, mile 32 to mile 34 or something like that, which is right by the port.
Right. So it starts in Cocodrie, or it starts in the bay and comes this way.
No, right.
And
So
it finishes at 34 miles right by the port.
So the channel's 36 miles long, okay? So 0 is a sea buoy. So the first area they're dredging is 25 to 28. So it's halfway from Cocodrie to, let's say, the Bubba Dove, that area. And like I said, 36 would be the end, but the last section's around mile 32, 33, 34 in that area.
I see.
Okay? And like I said, they have 483,000 cubic yards to remove. And let's see, right now they've only removed 187 Okay, so they're running behind, but you know, contractors will do that, and at the end they come back in. And
when do they expect to finish that, though?
Well,
by what time?
The completion date is April 19th. Okay.
Oh, okay. You can do that all in 1 year, or actually 6 months.
Yeah. Well, December, January, February, March. April. But they're gonna. Looks like if they don't hurry up, if they don't tighten up, they're gonna probably, you know, go over the contract time and. Like they lost some time. They hit some obstructions. That's another thing. There's a lot of obstructions that they're hitting in the channel because of the hurricane, trees and all kinds of. Right. At one point, they had to actually change the cut ahead because it got chewed up by some concrete or something down there. Wow. So but they're going to give them some more time to that April 19th because of that delay they had for a couple of weeks, and any weather delays that they've had, they'll add that at the end. Okay, so it's not going to end fast on April 19th, right. You know, but there is a penalty if they add the time to April 19th and then they go over that. There is a daily rate that they have to pay.
And this is dredging. This is not deepening.
That's correct.
This is dredging.
It's
two different
maintenance
things.
Dredging.
Right.
You use the same equipment, but it's not deepening because we're just maintaining what we have.
Right.
And so when we go to deepen it, we're going to take that 15 foot. We're going to go down actually 22 to 23 feet is what we're going to dredge it. And that's called advanced maintenance. It's 20 foot is the authorized, but they let you go 2 or 3 feet deeper, so they call it advanced maintenance. So tilting back in, but that's going to be a lot of material, okay? Because right now they're going from 13 feet to 15 feet. When they come to deepen it, they're going to go from 15 to 23. Okay, right. So that's a lot of material that they're going to be pumping out.
And that material goes where?
Well, there's dedicated spall sites along the way, especially on the northern reach. When we get in the bay, that material is going to be placed just like they do it when they dredge now. They just pump it in open water. We would love for them to use it beneficially and pump it on the island here and there, but you don't realize how far these distances are. Right. You know, when they're at mile 7 and they got to pump it to the Timberlake Island, they got to pump that sand 3 or 4 miles, and it takes booster pumps and it's expensive. Yeah. Okay. So the Corps won't pay any incremental costs. All they do is put the pipe out 100 yards outside the vessel on the west side, and they just open flow it. If you want to do any beneficial, you have to come up with the incremental costs that get the material to the island.
I see.
And we don't have that kind of money.
Well, yeah, they're doing that, I guess, in the bottom, you know,
yeah.
Below Mississippi, on Mississippi.
And then the material is not the best material for Barrier Island. Now, in my view, they ought to pump it on the backside of the island and let it enhance the vegetation because it's very fertile. And everybody would love to do that, but like I said, there's a cost involved, right. and it's just something that we can't afford to do.
Right.
So the next section was just the surveys. Let's see, obstructions in the channel. We talked about that.
Which brings us to that deepening process, right? So, and again, we talked a little bit about that. So it's not just maintenance. The next thing would be deepening, but there's a lot of things you have to do
ahead of the deepening, preparation.
All the things that are going underneath those rivers, underneath the canal, plus what they're going to do with the lock system too. Right?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So in the approval of the legislation that got us authorized, there was a statement that said we can't start the actual dredging until the lock and floodgate is completed and in place and operable. And that's probably, we're looking at another 3 to 5 years before that is finished. They actually are started, you know, they're starting to prepare and everything else. Lines are identified, located, and either lowered or we don't need to lower it or remove it. One of the three. So that's the term that we use.
LERDs.
Land easement, rights of ways, relocations, and dredge disposals. And the Corps is famous for acronyms. So now, and so we're responsible for that. The locals are. It's not even like the construction of the channel. Corps pays 80, we pay 20, but the LERDs is not even included in that. The LERDs is just the local, input,
Right.
the local obligation, I guess you could say. So we're identifying the original right-of-ways. We're locating the pipelines. In the Bay, we had 17 that we found, and we're making drawings on all of them. I think 4 of them need to be need to be either removed or, I don't know, or lowered. One or the other. We just going through the process, and then they've also started going north, from Cocodrie, and the study lines north of Cocodrie, and last I talked to Bill, and he said they found over 60 something of them. So there's more than what they. Okay. On the LERDs, which the state's paying for. So the state gives us the money. We do the project, we look at, they approve it, and they send us a check. So it's just, we are flow through, basically.
Right. Well, these things would be pipelines, utility.
Pipelines, sewer lines, and little small pipelines, little gas lines, all kinds of stuff. So, but water than than gas, pipelines. Okay.
And I know this is, you run the port duties is all the way to the Bay.
Yeah. Well, look, they created the port in 1964, okay, by legislation. The Home and Nav was completed. So there's so why did they create the port? Well, for economic development. Let's see the Home and Nav, and so that's become our role. So we go all the way to the Seabury. The whole channel is it doesn't pay to do half of it, and the weakest link is going to be what's not done. So, we do what we got to do. We contact the Corps, we contact the federal government, we keep everybody informed, and we keep the project moving to get it deepened.
Yeah, you answered my question. I was about to say, well, what happened?
Yep. And we welcome the role. I mean, somebody's got to do it, and we're positioned correctly to do it. Ports have been given a lot of powers by the legislature to do things, and but
you can be a port, and if a boat can't get to you,
30 feet deep, you have one sandbar that's 13, and that's your limiting factor.
Right.
It's the weakest link, and so you just gotta. And they do, and they post it on a website, and we actually have that website linked into our website. So you can go to the port's website, and you can click on. You got to just read and find it, but you click on it, and it gives you the channel depths.
So so all the way through. So no, and obviously I'm sure boat captains all know how to use that.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution. Every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. That's what we call revolution. Welcome to Rev.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud. South Louisiana Bank, It's better when we bank together.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road, the GMC Sierra Heavy Duty. Premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% Sierra Heavy Duty SLT models. We are professional grade. GMC.
U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is a highly versatile company that will ship any. Crating Pros is a full-service logistics provider focused on expert packing, crating, and transportation solutions. The local oil and gas industry utilizes our professional crating and shipping service and international needs. U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros is authorized and recognized to construct shipping crates built for exports. U-Drop Shipping and Crating Pros, now at our new location at Capitol Boulevard.
With their whole life ahead of them made some poor choices and got addicted to drugs. They never got the help they needed. But their story doesn't have to end there. Peer support specialists from South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority can help you turn the page to a more hopeful chapter. Peer support is provided by a person who has lived with mental health and substance abuse challenges.
Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate it. And always glad to see my friend and colleague back in the studio, Mr. Archie Chesson. Archie, welcome back.
Good to see you again, Keith. It's been a while.
Yeah. Archie, Lafourche Parish President. And listen, this here, as we look at this, how was Holy Week for you and your family?
It was a quiet week. It's been busy around the office, you know, just projects picking up. We spent a lot of traveling either back to D.C. Last week, a lot of us were in New Orleans for the hurricane conference. Trying to get ready for hurricane season and dealing with all the fun stuff that we trends and stuff like that. A lot of good meetings with FEMA and just partners who are there, whether they're vendors or other stuff. But quiet weekend, no real big issues on with the girls, and yesterday was a nice quiet afternoon as well. So it worked out really well. A lot of good downtime, which after the last 4.
Sure.
It was a quiet weekend, which was always good.
Right, and I want to get to, in the later segments, I kind of want to talk about some of those things that y'all have been working and planning on and doing. But, you know, one of those things that we're always thinking about is these weather systems. And look, it doesn't even have to be a storm for us to have to really think about what to do. We're just so blessed to be able to have the levee system that we have. Let's talk a little bit about how that works down in Lafourche.
Yeah, you know, it's been weird over the last probably 4 or 5 weeks, Keith. We've had these weird weather systems that have come through. We've seen the tornadoes in parts of Mississippi and Illinois and across, you know, Arkansas and Alabama. And luckily a lot of that stuff has shifted north. We haven't had to deal with a whole lot of that since, I'm guessing late again. And I know Matt and Guy McGinnis, the two parish presidents, have done a great job taking care of their residents over there. But look, as we look toward anytime you show a low pressure system on a radar screen, I start to get a little nervous, right? Luckily, this is not going to be a tropical event this week. Probably just going to bring in some rain and some wind over the next couple of days. The lock system down in Golden Meadow that Jason has up, you know, that $18 million structure that was built probably over 10 years ago has saved our parish a whole bunch, right? We can now lock in vessels with something that slowly they're starting to mirror here in Terrebonne with the Bubba Dove lock that's going into completion or going into construction. These systems here are something that we've taxed ourselves for a lot of years, especially in South Lafourche since, you know, the mid-'80s after Hurricane Juan is when that levee district really got up and going. and really just keeps the entire 10th ward of Lafourche Parish from flooding, right?
Right.
As we see, sea level and subsidence and things like that happen, having structures like that can navigation and control ship traffic so we can keep our economy rolling,
right?
But we can still protect our residents at the same time is huge. Things we're looking at toward, as the expanse of Morganza comes, we're going to operate those in a tropical environment or a storm environment to keep our residents safe. But eventually we're going to have to look at those things becoming lock structures probably when my kids are, because we're going to have those same sorts of issues in the intercoastal as well.
Right. When they become parish president.
God, for their sake, I hope not. Not a family tradition I really want to see.
But wherever it is that your family wants to go and be, we welcome it. But yeah, it's just one of those things where we look back a little bit like that Golden Meadow floodgate has been there for almost 15 years now.
Yeah.
And again, $18 million back then, interestingly enough, probably would be double that now.
Yeah, when you look at, got off the number very quickly, but when you look at the $250,000 plus that they're going to spend to convert the Bubba Dub and the HNC over to a lock, I mean, that tells you what kind of structures we're building these days. I was in Baton Rouge this morning. We had a joint transportation committee meeting. The parish was work down in South Lafourche as well, along Highway 3235 to help some of the drainage down there.
Right.
And they were asking Dr. Eric Alavoda, who's the kind of interim secretary now that Secretary Wilson resigned, how do they factor this stuff in? And if you look at the administration's budget for this year, they factored about $157 million in the DOTD's program budget to deal with inflation because asphalt and concrete and all the things that they do on a regular basis are now exceeding that. And we're seeing that on a local level too, as we look at kind of post-storm rebuild. Our prices are running 30 to 40% higher than what we were seeing, pre-Hurricane Ida. And that's because of the hurricane, everything kind of jumps up after a storm.
Right.
But now that we're almost 2 years out from a little bit, but we're still seeing those increases just because things that are happening on a national economic level. And it's causing us some heartburn as we try to rebuild, as we try to kind of front that money ahead of. And it always causes FEMA some heartburn because at the end of the day, we as taxpayers have to pay that bill anyway.
Right.
So it's been a little bit of a struggle, but we're finally starting to see some stuff move. Go out to bid from a building perspective. First of all, we're trying to get our buildings dried in and get a lot of those temporary roofs off before hurricane season rolls around again, and then really focus on the end. We're going to have to drive all the way to Lockport or Matthews or Thibodeau, getting those services in that library back up and running. So we're slowly getting there. It's been a little bit of a process, something that we've before, because a lot of the slow end is on those guys, and something that we've been really good at working with, Congressman Graves, Congressman Scalise, and Senator Cassidy and Senator Kennedy. When we have an issue, I have no bones about picking up the phone. Everybody's short-staffed, FEMA is FEMA, but if you want to see your communities rebuilt, we got to get them off the step here.
Need. Well, while you were in Baton Rouge fighting for those kinds of things, I was down on the ground, boots on the ground in your neck of the woods, and just, again, one of the things we'll talk about afterwards is just still with a lot of the destruction that's still there here almost. Okay?
You got it.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to take a break. You do that with us. We'll be right back with Archie Chesson right after this break. Join us here on Bayou Time.
The Lincoln Spring Sales Event is happening right now at Terrebonne Lincoln in Houma. Get 0.9% APR on a new 2023 Lincoln Nautilus, or get 2.9% financing on a new 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Terrebonne Lincoln in Houma.
Terrebonne Parish School District is now hiring bus drivers. A valid CDL is required. If you don't have a CDL, we will train you. You must be able to pass a medical health exam and a drug test. Salary range is $19,000. $29,859. Benefits include free health insurance and retirement. Contact the TPSB Transportation Office at
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
HTV10 is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. The great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. Sierra light-duty elevation crew cab models.
I am a professional. You know, there's a much higher risk to develop cancer. You're looking for a place that is gonna support you want to come. I had to be positive to show everybody mission to live a long, healthy, cancer-free life.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank my team because they come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing and
on Lincoln in Houma. Get 0.9% APR on a new 2023 Lincoln Nautilus, or get 2.9% financing on a new 2023 Lincoln.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Always glad to have in studio with me Archie Shess, Sunland Fish Parish President. Welcome back, Archie.
Thanks, Keith.
Sure thing. And you know, we're talking about some of this weather and some of these things going on, but man, it's not really slowing down a lot of the events and things that are happening, right?
Yep.
Let's talk about some of the things that y'all have been enjoying here up to Easter, and now some of the things maybe we're looking forward to.
Yeah, you know, we started off a couple weeks ago. The Rotary Club in Golden Meadow always kicks off kind of the spring with their big shrimp boil down at the Golden Meadow Park.
Right.
Last weekend was the Hot Air Balloon Festival.
Yeah, I
down
saw
in Golden
them
Meadow.
leaving. So cool.
Yeah, it was weird to see pictures of hot air balloons popping up in Golden Meadow, but and more power to them. Saturday, a little windy, so I don't think the balloons got to fly as much as they wanted them to.
Right.
But then we skip. I think we skip this weekend. There's on first, 22nd, 23rd is La Fête de Monde, which is the big festival underneath the overpass on Highway 90.
Right.
Benefits the Lockport Carnival Club, the fire department, the Knights of Columbus. I'm going to forget an agency or two, but a lot of hardworking men and women, put together that festival. Rides for your kids, food, bands, auctions all weekend. And then we work through the summer months, and then we get into some of the indoor stuff. The Cajun Heritage Festival down in June, a big duck carving show. The dean and the Cajun Heritage Festival group put together. Away, but it'll be here before we know it.
Right.
And we get into that series of 5 weekends where we have a festival in different parts of the
Every
parish.
single weekend.
And it's been good. Last fall season, whether you're talking to Highway 90, everybody saw record crowds. Everybody saw records in their bank books. So it was. I think everybody coming out of Hurricane. Say the word COVID,
right?
But just all the stuff we've dealt with over the last 3 or 4 years. Weather was beautiful, like the whole month of October. We didn't have a whole lot of issues when it came to temperatures and rain. So people, community, rally around itself, help support these organizations, where they were civic organizations or fire departments or all the groups that benefit from these fall fairs and festivals. It's been about and helping support these groups. There's a barbecue and bourbon festival, I think, coming to Thibodeau in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I saw something over the weekend from Thibodeau Main Street Festival. We're going to have some craft beer in downtown Thibodeau, I think, as well as some little festival and little kind of weekender deal in downtown Thibodeau. So, visit those Facebook pages, visit Louisiana Cajun Bayou's Facebook page or their website. They keep track really good of all the activities coming up. Bree does kind of that week and that month's upcoming events.
Right.
So if you're looking for something to do in Lafourche, there's no better time to do it.
Right.
And we were really, last week we put out a press release, Trade and Industry Magazine, environments. And I was really pumped when we saw this, because about 2 days before this, there was a media report about a few parishes in our area being some of the fastest declining populations in the country.
Oh, okay.
I think, St. John, St. Charles, and I think Terrebonne were all in that kind of top 10. And I got a little worried when I saw that, when I kind of rewound the newscast to make sure we wasn't in it.
Right.
And about a day and a half later, this pops up. And it's because of the cool things like Port Fourchon, because of Nicholls State University, and the great things that Dr. Clune and the faculty and staff are doing at Nicholls from a programming perspective, and things that they're doing like the Coastal Center coming to the university.
Right.
Cool things like, the Chet and the Port Commission, elected members of the Port Commission are doing down there with, the advent of offshore wind. And we had a contingent that just got back from Baltimore last week. I was in different places, so I didn't go this year, but it was the big offshore wind conference, the International Wind Conference, partnering forum, and just the interest in offshore wind in the Gulf of Mexico, the interest in the port. We spent some time up in D.C. That's some of the other parish presidents and parish leaders working on things like the RISE Act, which Senator Cassidy has been working on. Last week, Majority Leader Scalise was able to pass what they called H.R. 1, which was a permitting reform bill, but also had his version called the BREEZE Act, which has to do with GOMESA revenue sharing, the money we get from offshore oil and gas royalties. Those two bills actually put provisions in there for offshore wind revenue. So as they lease these blocks of property for wind expansion, the state would get 37.5% of whatever those bids are. And then, of course, that trickles down to the 20 coastal parishes. So last week we got a check for about 1.7 places like New York, New Jersey. They're seeing offshore wind bids of $4+ million. 37.5% of that would have gone to the states if that legislation was in place. So we've been from Texas that went up there week before last. We met with 80 members of Congress and their staff, talking about why the RISE Act and the BREEZE Act are really important for us from a coastal perspective. To the Great American Outdoors Act, things like the Land and Water Conservation Fund, things like the North American Wetlands Conservation Act, which is a huge migratory bird project habitat expansion. So when we look at those inland states, there's something in it for everybody, right? We tell them the testament of how we use it for coastal restoration, how we protect ourselves from levees and marsh parks. If you don't have the same issues we have, right? So it was a really good trip.
First park.
First park, yeah, right?
Have a state park. Those kinds of monies and what we can do that, Lafourche can see. But when we talk about trickle down, it's about how it impacts all of the economy. There are just some really exciting things about that. And so I like it. And there's some other good things that are happening. Lafourche, I love the fact that they say, growing place to be, honored for that. All right with you, and come back, and just all of the good things happening in Lafourche. And I appreciate how hard we're working. We'll look at maybe some of those projects that y'all have been talking about and working on, and have some of those coming to fruition.
No doubt.
All right, very good. We're going to take another short break. Do that with us. Come right back with Archie Chesson, Lafourche Parish President. We'll be right back here on Bayou Time.
Whether it's price, service, or selection, you gotta come to AJ Doman Chevrolet. Business elite, medium duty, and commercial dealer. Can't find the car you're looking for? Let us order it for you.
And remember, no credit, bad credit, we can help.
AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Morgan City Bridge.
Give us a call today or visit us online at ajdomanchevy.com. AJ Doman Chevrolet, the dealership that works for you. Highway 182 in Berwick.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for everyone, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. That's what we call revolution, and the revolution is closer than you think. Rev.
Heavy-duty pulling power. To conquer the high road or the off-road. The GMC premium and capable. Step up to GMC with 3.9% APR for 5 years on 2023 Sierra heavy-duty SLT model. Great. GMC.
Led by a 7-member commission, the Terrebonne Port was created to assist our local industry in promoting economic development. We monitor with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to secure maintenance dredging funds. Because the HNC is the main artery for the heartbeat of Terrebonne's economy, Terrebonne Port fights a constant battle for funding to maintain the federally authorized navigable depth. We are now leasing waterfront and non-waterfront property. Terrebonne Port Commission, serving our industry to keep Terrebonne thriving.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV, and I just wanted to thank every day we come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people happening in the world. Tune into HTV for a little positive attitude. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Don't give up. At Waits & Downer Law Firm, we want to make sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal the help you need. At Waits & Downer, it's our goal to not only get you a full damage recovery, but to get the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. Call today for a free. Let our years of experience work for you.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weiss. I joined by Archie Chesson, Lafourche Parish President. Welcome back.
Thanks, Keith.
And look, always I appreciate the things happening in Lafourche Parish, but also about celebrating some of these people that have had some really good things happen. I know last council meeting, next council meeting, you guys really...
He moved away. He started a Lafourche Outstanding Citizen Award, and it appears every week or every 2 weeks on our council meeting. We don't get one every 2 weeks. It's based on nominations that either a councilman will give, members of the council, or something that comes in from the public. But we've recognized quite a few people in our community. The latest one was Danny Boy Berg.
Right.
Danny's been walking around the and we saw him cutting some grass today on the way back from Baton Rouge, but every now and then they'll skip a spot. They don't really, some of the curbs we have in Lafourche are a little funky, but Danny goes out there with his weed eater and his shovel and kind of knocks some stuff out and really helps to beautify the intersections.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow.
So if
That's who that was. Okay.
He's been around 90. He's been around 32, 35 at some of the intersections in La Rose and Galiano. So Councilwoman Chesson actually saw him about a month ago, and she and Councilman Wendell got together and put him up for an award and recognized him as a Lafourche Outstanding Citizen at our last council meeting. And I grew up across the street from Danny. He lived across from us when I was growing up as a kid with his kids. So it was good to see. I haven't seen him in a lot of years since I moved away or moved out of that subdivision and got my own house and stuff. But really a class act guy. We recognize people like Chad and Trixie Boudreaux, have Joe Septic, but they did a lot of work after the hurricane with Father Greg and Father Joey at Sacred Heart. Fed over, I think, 300,000 people across the area after the hurricane, cooking meals with different groups. So we've had a lot of people walk through that step. We're actually going to recognize Father P.J. Madden at our meeting on Tuesday for his Dorsonville got installed a week or two ago. Just crediting him for the work and helping the diocese through the steps it had to take. Really in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane. It wasn't very long after that. Called out to Louisville, so he's done a great job and been such a great role model for a lot of people in our parish. I couldn't help but give him a key to the parish, even though I think he's Lafourche no matter which. He's
got keys to both. You give a man a key, he can go anywhere he wants, right? Give him a key to both of them. Yeah. And look, that's a good thing to just be able to honor those people and celebrate that. It's a great idea to be able to do that. In doing so, you mentioned how much you've been traveling. You mentioned all the places you've been going. Tell us about some of these projects that are either starting up or some things we're seeing to come into.
Building projects, a lot of those pump station projects that are finally going to bid. We use just about all the local architects and engineers we can.
Right.
But so does Terrebonne, so does the diocese, so does the school system, right? We keep pushing them, and they say, President Dove's pushing them just as much as Mr. Martin and Mr. Ogeron is from the school system and everybody else. But they really do a lot of great work. So we have those projects. But we supposed to have happened that didn't. So we have some turf fields going in La Rose and Golden Meadow.
Oh, wow, nice.
Give our kids something to play on. A lot of the kids who are playing travel ball these days play on turf fields as they travel.
Right.
So we're trying to give them that experience. Also cuts down on some of the maintenance obligations we have from a grass cutting perspective.
Right.
So those two fields are up and running. Mitch, actually, we should be done in the next couple of weeks. The weather holds out. And we're going to do a field a year in La Rose and Golden Meadow until we get them all turfed.
Oh, that's
It'll
awesome.
take us a couple of 3 years to get that done because there's so many fields. But working with FEMA to go back with metal poles versus the wooden poles, so they'll last through another hurricane.
Yeah.
And we don't have to keep doing this wooden pole trade out every time a storm comes through.
Right.
We're building things like in 182 and Highway 90 near the shooting range.
Right.
Kind of like what Ashland is to you guys in Terrebonne.
Sure.
So our residents can have kind of a centralized point to be able to do that with. And then about 2 weekends ago, we had a nice little tax election in Lafourche,
right.
Where we pulled off what a lot of people said was going to be impossible, where we consolidated some very old districts and really centralized roads and bridges and drainage in Lafourche. Did some sales tax maneuvers, lowered some rates, allowed the school board to pick up some of that tax money and do some teacher pay raise, track the new ones that are coming out of college, but keep those 10 and 20-year teachers that were disappearing to other parishes because they were paying a little more and coming back. I've heard some really good reports that the number of applications for teachers. So we're working with the districts now that are consolidated, because some of them were actually still operating boards and commissions about how this consolidation is going to work. But it was something that we've talked about in Lafourche for about 30 years. Everybody says, from an economic development perspective, right? If we're going to continue to get those trade and industry reports that we're business friendly and we're growing, we needed to do something like this. And nobody had really been willing to tackle the issue because it was a very hot potato politically. And I was just the right, smart, dumb, stupid sucker that decided to take it on. And working with the school board superintendent, working with our chambers, people like the Bioindustrial Group, the Retired Teachers Association, South Central Industrial Association. Pretty good margin of about 60-40, so it wasn't like it was we snuck it under the rug, right?
51-49 kind of deal.
So it was a really good move for us.
Well, and the other thing is, very often, something that worked 30 years ago is not working today, or something that worked 50 years ago is not working today. And it's a way to be able to say, hey, we have a real important purpose for this money, is what it goes for. And so that's always appreciated. It's so very good to be able to see you. I'm very glad things are going well for you and your family. We're really excited for how things are going for Lafourche in recovery, in growth and expansion, and just getting back to this new sense of normal post the C word, post the I word, but where we're going and moving forward. Glad you're in that lead.
And work with 350 of the best individuals there are on the planet, plus all the other elected officials, right? And I still wake up very humbled every day to do this job, and I'm proud to do it.
We're glad to do it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more right here on HTV.
At Terrebonne Ford, check out our great lineup of new Fords. Take $8,000 off a new F-150 Crew Cab, plus get or take $6,000 off a new Explorer, plus get 1.9% APR for 72 months. So come save during Ford Fest at Terrebonne Ford in Houma, because Terrebonne Ford delivers.
At Big Wheels Travel Center, the fun and excitement are just around the corner in Bayou Blue. Big Wheels is open 24 hours a day and features 24-hour security, clean restrooms, and for all your needs. While you're there, visit the casino for daily cash prizes and drink specials 7 days a week. You'll get the feeling as if you're in a lush Vegas-style casino. Travel Center, where everyone's a winner.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading.
Or get 2.9% APR for 5 years and no monthly.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. Community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. Communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
West Park Self-Storage is a state-of-the-art, clean, convenient, and secure climate-controlled storage. Our professional storage counselors are here to assist you with all your storage needs. We now access your unit 7 days a week. We also have parking for RVs, boats, and cars with 24-hour access. West Park Storage.
South Louisiana Battle of Wits, where today's finest students test their knowledge and wisdom to see if they rise to the academic challenge of South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. South Louisiana Quiz Bowl is brought to you by MC Bank, sharing that hometown spirit. Now here's your host,
Quiz Bowl. We continue our junior high quarterfinals today. LaRose Cutoff Middle School taking on Glencoe Charter School. This is an elimination match with the winner advancing to the semifinals. Words, numbers, or sounds that repeat themselves in your answer. Good luck. You won't need glasses if you have this kind of vision. Hey, all metal pellet used in air rifles. Ajaya.
BB.
That's right. Year in which Franz Schubert composed his 6th Symphony. That was 1818. A small cut or bruise or Yogi Bear's little buddy. Ajaya.
Bobo.
I'll accept that. This anti-art movement flourished after World War I. That was Dada or Dada. Average, run-of-the-mill, fair to middling. John Ryan.
Common.
No, so-so. Don't forget the category. Year in which Louis XV granted a charter to Louisiana. Ethan. That is 1717. In human beings, this chromosome pair produces a female. Alexa.
XX.
That's right. Year in which the Catholic Church arrested Galileo. 1616, and that's the end of the round. Let's take a moment and let the players introduce themselves. We'll start with LCO.
I'm John Ryan Danos. I'm in band, robotics, and quiz bowl.
Band and play the violin.
I'm Alexa. I'm in 8th grade and I do band and background.
I'm Faith. I'm in 8th grade. Besides,
let's hear more about LCO from team captain Ethan Keefe.
LCO Middle School can be found along Highway 1 in Lafourche Parish. It was a high school until 1966. LCO is based on curriculum. We would like to thank Mr. Chris Hunter, KWBJ, for inviting us to compete in this year's tournament. We would also like to thank the parents for helping us out. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you to the faculty sponsor, Mr. Ronald Dupuy. Let's welcome back LaRose Cutoff Middle School. Here are the players for Glencoe Charter.
Boxing and video games.
Hi, my name is Ajay Harris. I'm in the 8th grade and I like volleyball and softball.
My name is Mariah Matthews. I'm in the 8th grade and I like softball and other sports.
My name's Haley. I like to read and write and I like archery.
Team captain, tell us about Glencoe Charter.
Emerging from the midst of the swamp is a quaint educational institution known as VB Glencoe Charter School. Our school is located a few minutes shy from the shore of has made many developmental steps, and we are now proud to announce our school is home to all grades, pre-K through 12. Although we are small in quantity, we are sizable in intellect and school spirit. This year, our thriving charter school will celebrate having its first high school graduating class. We also offer many extracurricular activities such as baseball, softball, archery, basketball, volleyball, student council, beta, 4-H, and we especially are grateful for a great quiz bowl season.
Thank you, Ajaya. Thank you to the faculty sponsors, Ms. Mike and Perry and Ms. Corey Pellerin. Let's welcome back Glencoe Charter School. Moving on now to our toss-up bonus round for assassination attempts. Ethan.
Acting.
That's incorrect. Glencoe. They were both walking out of hotels. 2-point toss-up. What's the name for a list of computer functions appearing on the display which indicates the possible operations the computer? Incorrect. LCO. Faith.
Software.
No, the menu. 2-point toss-up. This lustrous volcanic glass is usually black or banded and displays curvy shine.
Obsidian.
That's correct. Bonus for LCO. I want you to identify the following words that begin with the prefix sub, S-U-B, a residential area located near a much larger city. Number that is written below and to the right of a letter in a chemical equation.
Subscript.
Correct. And a verb meaning to yield to a superior force or to the desired.
Subdue.
That's incorrect. Glencoe.
Submit.
Your answer?
Submit.
4 for LCO, 2 for Glencoe. Here's a 2-point toss-up. Isaac Newton discovered he could break up white light into the colors of the rainbow by using what symbol? Bonus to LCO. What is the mechanical advantage of each of the following simple machines? That measures 12 meters. Your answer?
Jet.
That's incorrect. Blanco?
Skip.
LCO, a lever that uses 15 newtons of force to lift a load that weighs 60 newtons.
Four.
That's right. And an inclined plane that has a length of 5 meters and a height of 2 meters. 4 points. Here's a 2-point toss-up. I want you to fill in the blank in this quote with a 2-word place name. The speaker is General Douglas. Always I come back to blank. Always there echoes and re-echoes duty, honor, country. Ethan.
Pearl Harbor.
That's incorrect. Blanco? Anyone? It is West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. 2-point toss-up. In 1588, the English defeated the invincible Spanish Armada. Philip II was Spain's reigning monarch at the time, who ruled England in 1588. Ethan.
King Henry.
That's incorrect. Blanco? Ajaya.
King Henry the Ninth.
No, it was Queen Elizabeth I. 2-point toss-up. Who said, "When I keep reading that I'm America's most successful playwright, it amazes me." He was, in fact, the most financially successful playwright in American history, with writing credits that included The Odd Couple, Barefoot in the Park, The Goodbye Girl, and 18. Who was he? Anyone? That was Neil Simon. 2-point toss-up, got some math. Percent of 90% of 100. 10% of 90% of 100. Faith.
9.
That's correct. Bonus to LCO. And we are in astronomy here. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made their historic landing on the moon. For 2 points, what was the name of the lunar module in which they traveled?
Oops.
Your answer?
Pass.
It was the Eagle. LCO in the command module. What was his module called?
Apollo 11.
That's incorrect. Blanco? Your answer?
Pass.
It was Columbia. And LCO, what was the
Apollo 11 was
It's Apollo
mission.
11.
That was the name of the mission.
You got one right for 2 points. Here's a 2-point toss-up. On a ship, lights are used to allow the crew of an approaching ship to identify the sides of the vessel. What color lights are used? Faith.
Red.
Multiple.
Red and white.
Sorry, no. Glencoe?
Red and orange.
No, red and green. And that is the end of the round. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more South Louisiana Quiz Bowl.
Savings are in bloom at Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service. Now through April 30th, get up to $70 off a new set of Toyo tires. Plus, get free installation, a $110 value when you use your Shawbill's credit card. Visit ShawbillsTire.com for complete details. Shawbill's, we keep you rolling.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
I think my dad, he's worked so hard and he's proven to me that how you work hard now helps you in the future. And I think my mom is a big role model because of just how philanthropic she is. She always shows how to give back to the community and how that can directly impact people.
Welcome back to Quiz Bowl. Here's a new player entering the game for Glencoe Charter.
Hi, my and besides Quiz Bowl, I enjoy playing video games and reading books.
Welcome to the game, Noah. LCO leading Glencoe Charters. We continue on. Here are some two-point toss-ups. In what state is Zion National Park? Glencoe? Haley?
Arkansas.
No, it's Utah. What document states the reasons for the desire of the American colonies to be free of British rule? Ethan?
Declaration of Independence.
That's right. Name the capital of Denmark. Legend?
Copenhagen.
That's right. How many cuts must a carpenter make to cut a 12-foot board into 3 equal parts? A giant.
4.
Incorrect. Let's see how Ethan. 2 is right. Here's some math. Express your answer as a fraction. 0.1 times 0.1. Give me a fraction. Ethan.
1/10.
Incorrect. Noah?
1/100.
1/100th is right. The old saying goes, real men don't eat. Quiche. Anyone? John Ryan.
K-I-S-H-E.
That's incorrect. Noah.
K-E-I-S-H.
No, it's Q-U-I-C-H-E. Be prepared is the motto of the Boy Scouts. What's the motto of the Cub Scouts? It is do your best. What was the principal material used in constructing the Taj Mahal? Ethan.
Quartz.
Incorrect. Noah. It is marble. That is the end of the round. LCO still in the lead as we come to our 60-second round. So Glencoe, you've got first choice of categories. You can have geography, who, what, or life science.
Geography?
They want geography. Give them geography. Where a country is located plays a very important part in its history and development. In this list of countries, you tell me whether they have a coastline on the Atlantic, the Pacific, or whether they're landlocked. So all of your answers are going to be either Atlantic, Pacific, or landlocked. Good luck. Chile.
Pacific.
For your team. It's for your team.
Pacific.
That's right. Afghanistan. That's right. Portugal.
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Correct. Nepal.
Landlocked.
That's right.
Atlantic.
That's right. Peru.
Pacific.
Correct. Brazil.
Atlantic.
That's right. New Zealand.
Landlocked.
That's right. Liberia.
Atlantic.
You got 10 out of 10. You get a 3-point bonus for that. 23 points. Very good. LaRose cutoff. You've got who, what, or life science. Don't worry about that.
Who?
Going with who? Okay. Tell me who in these. Good luck. Who served as U.S. president for most of the 1950s?
Truman.
Incorrect. On human rights.
Pass.
What Mormon leader ran for president in 1844 but was killed by a mob?
Pass.
3 of the 100 tallest buildings in New York City are named for which real estate tycoon?
Empire State Building.
Incorrect. What Nobel Prize winning scientist said imagination is more important than knowledge?
Marie Curie.
Incorrect. The Congress of Vienna. What leaders fall from power? You have an answer? Sorry, I'm going to have to call you on it. No points for that. Here you go, Glencoe. Who served as U.S. president for most of the 1950s?
FDR.
No, Eisenhower. What first lady later chaired the United States Commission on Human Rights? Answer. President in 1844, but was killed by a mob.
Pass.
Joseph Smith. 3 of the 100 tallest buildings in New York City. Answer.
Empire.
No, some guy named Trump. What Nobel Prize winning scientist said imagination is more important than knowledge? The Congress of Vienna dealt mainly with the aftermath of what leaders fall from power?
Pass.
Napoleon Bonaparte. That's the end of the round. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more South Louisiana Quiz Bowl.
Now more than ever, your heart health should be a priority. Trust your care to Cardiovascular Institute of the South, a world leader in the diagnosis of vascular disease in the legs, vein problems, and heart valve disease. CIS cardiologists offer the most advanced, innovative, and compassionate care for the complete health of your heart and legs. Schedule an appointment at one of our 5 locations in the Bayou region. Visit us at cardio.com.
Delay. Don't pay enough. Hurricane Ida has decimated Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. By now, you've heard that thousands of people have been taken advantage of by sure that you have all the facts when dealing with your insurance company. We have the legal experience and ability to make them pay. Get the help you need. At Waits & Downer, the insurance company to reimburse your legal fees. So once again, don't give up. That's exactly what the insurance companies want you to do. And we are here to stay. Let our years of experience work for you. Pick up the phone, 985-876-0870 for a free consultation.
Hi, I'm Martin False, the owner of HTV. We come in not always looking for the negative stories. We look for the positive stories. We have so many positive people and events that shape our area. So when you're tired of all the bad things happening in the world, tune into HTV for. Thanks for viewing, and thanks to a great staff.
Welcome back to South Louisiana Quiz Bowl. Here's a new player coming in for LaRose Cutoff.
Hi, I'm Jake Petrie.
All right, welcome to the game. Glencoe Charter leads LCO. Last round, 2-point toss-ups. Here we go. The city of Rochester is a cradle of technology, having been the founding hometown, among others. In what Northeast state is Rochester? Jake.
New York.
That's right. You throw the ball to a teammate who puts out a runner. John Ryan.
Home run.
Incorrect. Glencoe.